you just see a list of names. So for you to repost it, like, yeah, these guys are the abusers, like, man, then whatever, you don't even know what they're being accused of. So just separate yourself from it. Just watch from afar. You don't have to get involved.
Now, are we?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, but you don't have to start from here.
No, this is fine.
All right, okay.
Okay. I feel like...
No, what I'm saying is you don't have to get involved on Twitter by reposting the list. You just, you know what I mean? You don't have to. That's a choice that you're making now to get involved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? You don't have to get involved. All right, let's.
No, can I put straight up?
Why are you looking at me like that for?
TW:SA.
What?
Trigger warning: sexual assault. We're letting people know right from the jump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Trigger warning.
Right.
All right, hold on. Let's quickly just intro it and then we just get into it, innit?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a heavy one, still.
But this is mature.
I want to make sure that they hear you, HD. So please speak into the mic.
All right,
It's
cool.
adjustable.
And guys,
I know I'm here.
Thank you very much.
Today, I'm going to make sure that I mean what I say and I say what I mean. So there's going to be a lot of pausing, a lot of thinking, a lot of clear, concise words.
I think even for me, because I don't want it to come across like I'm not here for anyone.
So I think we should discuss it in kind of two parts.
All right.
So I think sexual abuse and rape, full stop, and then the list specifically and everything in and around the list.
All right.
You know what I'm trying to say? And also, I got a few messages about, I'm surprised you guys never touched on this on the last episode. We recorded before the list was released last week. So we recorded on Wednesday.
Yeah.
The list came out on Friday, I believe. So obviously we couldn't talk on it because we're not time travelers.
Hi guys, it's just Gina here with Big Man News and Brent, and this is Meet Us After 7.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh man. Episode 191, baby. It's a sunny day, you know. Listen, the last couple days have been hot.
Bruv.
Gina is here getting her eagle on.
Drop down and get your eagle on.
You know what I mean? Shake a tail feather. Drop it like it's hot.
All that and in between. I feel like you're HD and I'm not.
I don't know. I think it's just
Maybe it's the volume.
the bass.
Yeah, like.
No, everything's up the same levels.
Oh, never mind then. I don't know. We good though. We good. Where do we begin?
All right. So as you heard before the intro, there's a.
Is there hair covering your ears?
Maybe.
I
don't mind. No,
I wouldn't say this is a themed episode, but there's one particular topic that we, have to address. Yeah. So we're here to address it. You know what I mean? So just to give a little backstory for those, because not everyone is privy to this, to be fair. Not everyone is on Twitter and is aware of what's going on.
I found out today when they came in and asked me.
Oh, boy, bye. Like me.
So last week, Friday, and excuse me, research police, I don't know all the details of like the people's pages and stuff. Like a particular girl, so this is what I saw. I saw a girl say that she's compiled a list of, I don't know what word she used, but I'm going to go with sexual abusers as just the umbrella term. Yeah. And if you want this list, it'll be available via DM. So DM me and I'll send it to you. So it's meant to be a private list shared amongst women only. Obviously, that's not going to last very long. So took no time at all for the list to be on the timeline, distributed through group chats, and everyone was discussing it. Who's on the list? Who's on the list? You know what I'm trying to say?
Who's on the list? That pause killed me. You were like, oop, shit.
You know what I mean? Who's on the list?
You all can't see, but on Wednesday you will see how often Yusuff reaches for the cup of water.
Listen, it's pressing times right now. It's pressing times.
Right now, he's
man's hugging for the
hugging the pillow like
pillows. Yeah, it's tense still. All right, cool. So first initial thoughts are, okay, who's on the list? Going through the list. Do I know anyone? Okay, cool. I know of him. Cool. I know him. cool. That's my friend. Or, oh, I've met him before. Or I've seen his tweets. Or I follow him. You know what I mean? It was one of them ones, isn't it? And the list was hefty. It was long, very long.
And there were several versions. So it kept getting updated. I saw different versions.
How was it?
Yeah, so I saw that one. Then I saw a more UK artist-based one.
I saw that one. I'm not gonna lie, some of the names on that list rattled me still.
Do you know? Yes, I saw that one as well. And yes, I saw like different ones, basically. And I was like, okay, this is extremely interesting. Take it away.
Okay.
I'll chime in when I feel I can.
All right, cool. So, shall we start with just sexual abuse? So, sexual abuse is wrong. It goes without saying. Yeah. Rape is wrong. It goes without saying. Yeah. So, with the list, what I would have maybe wanted, and this might have helped, but who knows how, damaging it could have been, but would you two say that having the list with the actual allegation next to it would have helped, or would that have made it a bit worse?
I personally think that if we're basically doing this to make people be accountable, then I feel like full disclosure is necessary. Only because we don't know what people have done. And I guess for me, the problem is things have transpired since the list originally came out. So at first it said sexual abusers. Then later on it said this list contains liars, rapists, etc., etc.
The thing is, Crystal said that girl who tweeted it was from Australia or something like.
Something like that. But again, this is all stuff that's on the timeline that people are going to take in. So it's like, if that's the case, there's people on the list who could potentially be a liar, and they've been coupled with someone who is a rapist. So I felt like that was a bit unfair. So I guess it would have been easier for everyone to kind of digest or take it in if a bit more disclosure was given. I'm not talking about the full ins and outs and details, but just so people can know what they've been accused of. Because I guess a lot of people are baffled. Obviously, those that know what they've done, like, those that fully know will know, and those that are just thinking, right, because I feel like what I've realised is that a lot of mandem do not realise that they've participated in sexual abuse. Because to them it's just normal. Just based on the feedback and the conversations I've had and speaking to mandem and seeing what's happened on the timeline, a lot of people are rattled. And basically, if behind closed doors, there probably should be more people on that list.
Can I have an example as to what caused potential confusion as it pertains to said mandem doing said thing and not knowing that it is sexual abuse? Give me an example.
So, for example, mandem in a prime example, you're in a club, yeah, and a guy gripses your bum. To me, that's sexual abuse. I'm pretty sure if someone did that to me and I called them a sexual abuser, they'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. They'd see it as, it's not part of the culture, but do you understand what I mean? You got a big bum, your bum's nice. And that's happened before. So...
Right, so some of the names that were on there because of the grab the bum?
We don't know that.
I don't know, but that's the point I'm making.
Basically, that's what you're saying.
That's the point.
Okay.
The point I'm making is
a rapist could be on there, and a guy who's grabbed the bum could also be on there.
Right, and
we distinguish.
But the point I'm making also is a lot of guys wouldn't see that as sexual abuse though, because it's so normal.
And I'm gonna go into that as well.
Do you get what I mean? So
in a second.
That's why I feel like full disclosure would be. When I say full, a bit more disclosure would be a bit more helpful for everybody to understand, because like I said, I feel like a lot more mandem probably should be on that list if we're literally going by life experiences. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, so that's how I saw it. Because when I'm speaking to like some of my male friends, they're like they're moving mad, and I guess it's a common. I guess it's a guy thing, innit? Guys all think the same. So I'm getting common responses. And I'm just like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but you do understand, you do realise that you grabbing my bum in a rave, I don't know you from Adam, I don't care if you think my bum, do you know what I mean? Is abuse, right? Like you get that.
That counts as when like carnivals are wrong and people just catch wines as well?
I guess it's different because of the environment. And I know you're thinking, okay, you're picking and choosing. However, if I went to carnival and a guy grabs me and thingy, I'd still find it offensive. Because that's because I'm not into carnival culture. Do you understand what I mean?
I think they're two different things.
They're two different things. And also, I don't see that as I'm not part of the culture. I'm not heavily into carnivals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't whine on guys, and even as a joke, like I find it's just too invasive anyway for me. Yeah. So again, I'd find that a bit okay.
Yeah. So just to backtrack a bit. So obviously the list. I'm not sure how. I think the girl basically said on Twitter, if you have a name you want to submit, then just DM me and I'll put it on the list. I'm not sure if she done any vetting, like asked the girl, okay, what did this guy do?
I think she did
before I validate him on this. I'm sure she did, because if not, that would be so irresponsible.
I think I've seen like a few DM conversations about, I want to talk about my experience with this person, and then there's like a brief.
Okay, brief little convo. All right,
sorry. So anybody could put a name forward? Do you have to be behind a recognizable account with a proper AVI?
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So you can create an account in this?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And that's the issue. I think there's no, like, what's the vetting system? Any Tom, Dick and Harry with any agenda against a certain guy could just go in and say, this guy done XYZ, and boom, his name's on there.
So you're saying even a guy can create an account?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
Of course. All right, so the girl, I'm going to assume that this girl's from the UK. The Crystal saying she was from Australia. I don't know where that came from, but this girl said, okay.
No, I think this started in Australia. Someone in Australia done it, and she got inspo from, I think she got inspo from the Australia person and created a UK one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's
But I think the tweet I'm about to read, though, I believe that even if it wasn't pertaining to this list, I think it still applies. Because if we're to look at that list as solely a list of rapists, I think it's a bit far-fetched. Because there was about 50 names on that list. So this tweet now, to me, better describes what I believe that list is, yeah? So she said, okay, let me clarify for niggas. That list is not just about rape. It's not just a list of rapists. It's filled with sexual harassers, assaulters, violators, liars, abusers, molesters, coercers, etc.
Yep.
Rape is not only the form of sexual violence.
Yeah.
So
Which I agree
I
with.
believe that list, this tweet definitely for me describes what I believe that list is a list of all these things.
Maybe I'm using the wrong word.
So in my eyes, should a guy who has violently raped a woman be on the same list as someone who has lied to a girl, or someone who has coerced? All are wrong, but they're levels. And I don't think that you should couple them all together, in my opinion, because that's very dangerous. You could literally destroy somebody's life or livelihood and name by putting them next to a rapist when they've committed a lesser crime. No?
I hear what you're saying, but I guess for me, the main point is just in the fact that all of them are wrong. Like, you can't...
All are wrong, but
and
would you put a murderer and
a thief
in the same list?
No, because they're two... But then they're two completely different crimes, though.
All right, let's keep it in the same genre then. Would you put a first-degree murder with a GBH? A GBH which was based on self-defense? On the same list? Like, this is a list of murderers. But no, all I done was punch my man in the face because he slapped me.
No, but GBH is not as... The thing is... Okay, maybe I'm getting a bit too technical, sorry.
No, go on.
It's because GBH is more... Like, a punch in the face is more ABH.
Okay, ABH then.
So...
All right, so ABH and murder, should they be on the same list?
In that sense, no.
So should rape and lying or coercion or whatever those
No,
things
but that's what... I guess that's the point I was making in the beginning, though. Like, we don't know...
What they've done.
That's what we don't know what they've done.
So are we to look at this list under the guise of, okay, cool, they're just all rapists and sexual abusers?
But initially that was what happened, because when we first got sent the list, it was like, these guys are abusers. And I guess instantly your mind is going to go straight to the worst.
That's the thing.
Or the most severe crime.
Because they're all levels of abuse, but everyone just goes straight to the worst thing.
And and I guess generally when people talk about sexual abuse and anything to do with sexual violence, rape is always like the topic that I guess
is the heaviest.
That's the heaviest and springs to mind, I guess, the first. And I think that's also because, like I said, a lot of people don't realise that certain acts are even considered as a sexual act of violence, so to speak. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I think we should unpack that first. So there's definitely guys on the list who are guilty and who have committed, crimes of sexual abuse. And there's definitely guys on the list who've committed crimes of sexual... No, sorry. There's definitely guys who know they have, like they're actually aware of what they've done.
Yeah.
Then I believe there's guys on the list who have committed the crime, they're guilty, but they were unaware
that they committed the crime.
I definitely believe that those are the cases because sometimes a guy, for example, let's use in a rave scenario, as an example. And also, we live in different times. When I was in school, and obviously you don't know I'm old, innit? When I was in school, I started school in 96, yeah? Some of you weren't even born in 96. Some of you were babies, yeah? It was like common for guys to be grabbing girls' bum in the corridor, going to class, the corridor's packed, you grabbing girls' bum. It was just something that boys done. You know what I'm trying to say? Back in that day, did we think that we were committing sexual crimes or we were abusing women?
I 120% believe that y'all knew what you were doing was wrong.
Wrong, but not to that severity. Yes, we know that, okay, cool, we're grabbing the girl's bum, unknowingly, she doesn't know we're doing it, and we're trying to get a cheeky, because if you, the reason why you're being sly about it is because you know you shouldn't do it. I totally agree with that. But did we see it as a bad, really bad thing that could be categorized as sexual abuse or rape, or we could actually get in trouble for it or whatever? No, I think
they'll fest it as a game.
I think in our mind, the worst that can happen is the girl realizes it was you, slaps you up or cusses you out or whatever.
Or gets her brother Stacey.
Or gets her brother Stacey to come and beat you up.
Sorry, I'm not making that. Yeah, that's what he's called.
From the wood. But obviously, we're in a different age and time now. And as a grown man, I would never, ever grab a girl's bum in a rave or in a club. I haven't done that since I was a kid. Because as I got older, I realised that it was wrong.
But can I also make a valid point though, yeah? And I guess part of society's problem. You said boys were just being boys, and I feel like that's one of the main reasons why we're here. A lot of the time, a lot of these actions is not brushed over, but it's like, it's just guys being guys. Do you get what I mean? And that's not you lot's fault. I feel like we're all party to it. So like, for example, I was reflecting the other day about one of my encounters, and I was like, it's so mad because at the time, I didn't think, oh my gosh, this is like sexual harassment, or I didn't see it as anything to that degree, but it really was, and it was rattling. But now I'm older, I'm just like, shit. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So to give you context, because you're probably thinking, what am I talking about? I was like about 15, and I was at youth club, and there was a guy who he had a girlfriend at the time as well, and I knew his girlfriend, but he was like, you know those kind of like guys that would play fight with you and be very, very aggressive. But he was very like sleazy. So one day I'm at youth club and I decided to go to the girls' toilet. So he follows me into the toilet and locks himself in a cubicle with me. And literally grabs my face. I'm not even lying. Grabs my face and literally like shoves his tongue down I swear to God, shoves his tongue down my throat. And obviously I'm screaming, like kicking, get off me, whatever, like tussling. And then someone comes into the girls' toilet. So he like stops and then runs out. And the maddest thing is, at the time, you know what my only concern was? Not that this guy's violated me. It was like, oh my gosh, I hope no one thinks me and him are doing a thing, so they go and tell his girlfriend and it's going to cause drama. Like, I didn't even care. It's like I didn't care about what happened to me.
Yeah.
Or like that I just been violated. And like after that, I just went about my business.
Yeah.
That was it. But when I look back at it, I just think...
You realise what it was?
Yeah. And I remember at the time I was so scared. I was so scared, yeah. Because he was very aggressive, like, so pinning me down. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, are you really coming to like take off my clothes? And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
And that was literally going through my head at the time. But afterwards, it was like, okay, Went back to youth club, was with my friends normally, and then went home and that was it. But upon reflection, it's like, no, that wasn't right. And I'm not saying that I thought that was just a boy being a boy, but I just kind of just, do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely get what you mean. And obviously, that was totally wrong. I don't think the whole, did I say boys will be boys, or what was the thing that I said that
you said when you were young, like boys used to touch people's bums and stuff, and you guys just saw it as, boys will be boys.
Okay.
So I feel like that's...
All right, so that thing happened to you.
Yeah.
If it is you told your brother, what would your brother do?
Switch.
Why?
Because a guy grabbed my face, locked me in the cubicle, and tried to lips me, bro.
So it was like known, like genuinely, that was a bad thing.
Yeah.
That you didn't react doesn't diminish the fact that it was bad at the time, because No,
100%.
If it is you told your brother, that guy might have been finished.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a case of, and again, I'm trying to speak for you. You just didn't want to make it a bigger deal than it was.
That's true. And do you know what? I had another issue with this guy, to be fair, after that.
What was it?
Yeah. And that actually became a madness.
He's a repeat offender.
So that is partly, you're right, because I was scared of him. I was actually scared of him.
Intimidation.
And I'm not going to lie, he scared the hell out of me. So after that, the fact that we had like a physical issue, which then turned into drama, is probably why I didn't say anything anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I think let's take it up a notch in terms of guys who may be abusers and not really realize it. So, grabbing girls' bums is wrong, but let's use like more severe examples. So what's another severe example of a guy sexually abusing a girl and not realizing it? What example can we give to say, okay, cool, there was a situation with me and a guy, he didn't realize that he violated me, but he did?
I guess having sex with someone, knowing that they don't want to have sex with you, but still continuing.
I think that's rape then.
I fully believe that guys know what they're doing.
Okay, hold on. Let me try to think. Let's just say, I don't know. Let's just say,
should we not use the Ray Black one? Because he believes that he...
Yeah.
No, but that's the same as the example we just gave about grabbing...
No, but it's actually happened like recently, No,
but it's still the same, like grabbing...
Yeah, but he claims that he didn't think it was wrong. Isn't that what the question you asked? How can a guy
I know.
and not know?
What I'm saying is, the example we gave about a guy grabbing a girl's bum is kind of the same as the ambush scenario, because the claim is that he grabbed her breasts. So I'm saying, what other example can we give that's a bit more extreme than just grabbing someone's bum? Just to give us some idea of why a guy wouldn't believe he's done something wrong when he has.
See, I wouldn't be able to answer that question because I believe that he fully well knows that he's done something wrong. Then
that's different then. If he knowingly done... What I'm trying to say is, in what scenarios are guys committing acts of sexual abuse but not realizing it?
That's what I'm saying. I can't answer the question because
he believes that everyone...
Yes. So you believe that everyone...
knows.
I 120% believe that they know that it's wrong to do. So I can't answer that question. I can't put myself in his place like that.
What about if, just say a guy and a girl was in a car, they went out on a date, he dropped her home. Before she got out the car, he reached over, started kissing her. Before she could even say yes or no or reciprocate, he was just kissing her. And she didn't stop him because, I don't know, maybe she felt it was too late, or maybe she just didn't want to disrupt the moment. But in her mind, she didn't want to kiss him, but he did. And then he was touching her up, grabbing her up, feeling her up, maybe putting his hands in different places. She was uncomfortable, but she just kind of went with the flow, and she wasn't kind of happy with it. And once it ended, she felt kind of violated. Like, he just kind of like pounced on me, and I wasn't on it, but it just happened so fast. And he left thinking, oh, okay, cool. Like, we had our first kiss, whatever. In her mind, he just like violated.
Okay, so you're saying he didn't actually read the cues that she...
He didn't read the room. He didn't know that she...
was uncomfortable.
Wasn't comfortable, or it wasn't that time. It wasn't, or maybe she would want him to, maybe take it a bit slower, maybe even ask. Some girls like to be asked, some girls don't like to be asked. Because I do see a lot. And that's the funny thing, I've seen like, when girls and guys are talking about different ways of like courting and moving to girls, And I've seen girls make fun of the fact that certain guys may ask them, can I kiss you?
Mm.
They're like, can you kiss me? Just kiss me. But in them scenarios, it's like, it's more about reading the room and knowing who you're with and knowing the vibe you have, the connection you have, and just using your intuition to know whether or not it's the right time to do certain things in it. But in certain cases, your intuition can be off. You might think she's on it, she might not be. So in this scenario, he's gone in for the kiss and he's got the kiss. He's grabbing her bum, breast, legs, whatever. She's just going with the flow because it's just happening, but she's not confident enough to stop him and push him away. And then maybe they're doing it for a couple of minutes, whatever. It finishes, they say goodnight, she goes home, but she's like, oh my God, she feels violated. And he's going home thinking, yeah, that was a great date, or whatever. In that scenario, it's the same thing, right? She feels like she was abused and he doesn't know he abused her. That makes sense. I've got a question for Gina, actually. So as a girl, and looking at it from the guy's perspective, how much culpability does the guy have? Not in out and out rape when the girl's actually screaming and telling you to stop and you're carrying on, which is, you know what I'm trying to say? Not that example, but more of the girl is either shy, hasn't got enough confidence, is scared for whatever reason to stop the guy's advances. Like he's kissing her, she doesn't want to kiss him, but she's letting him anyway. And for whatever reason, she doesn't want to stop him. How much blame can be given to him if he has absolutely no clue that she feels this way? And from everything he can see, obviously, certain guys' perception of reading the room and understanding how the girl feels is terrible. So you're not looking for the body language. You're not even asking her, like, are you okay? Are you comfortable? Things like that, which should be normal, to be fair. Just eye contact, whatever it is that you should use to read the room, you're not doing. You're just kind of using your dick and you're blind. So is that on him?
Definitely, because
is there any equal, not blame, but any equal
I feel like you should always
justification?
I feel like you should just always read the room.
Yeah.
Like what you've just said, that's negligence that's on you. Like no one's asked you not to read the room. You're just thinking with your dick. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So especially if you're not in a situation with a person, even if you are, I think you should just always read the room and listen to cues. So if you've chosen not to do that, again, it's on you. And guys obviously are aware that some girls are less honest in terms of saying these things, and you kind of just go with the flow, not because you want to, but in that moment you feel like, okay, I've got no way out. Do you get what I mean? So I definitely feel like as a guy, it is for you to read the room.
By the way, the majority of times I've been kissed, right?
Yeah.
But by the way, it's her that I've had to force it from me.
Oh, the girl moves to you.
Yeah, she's like, why are you waiting so long, boy?
See, Brent's out here moving timid.
No, not timid. Not timid.
Yeah, go on.
Just I know my value.
Yeah.
So nobody can come and tell me I forced anything because she was the one.
Yeah.
You understand?
I was even saying that to Jesse yesterday. I was saying,
give yourself permission, girl.
I said, aren't these guys in any scenarios where the girl moves to them? 100%. Like the girl makes the first move, or like is it just always them? All right, cool. All right, so where are we? All right, cool. Thing is, there's so many different angles to attack this. Yeah, where should we go? Like with it, like what? There's so many different sub-genres, subcategories of this subject that we can tackle. So it's kind of hard to like pinpoint on one.
Let's let Gina lead us.
Go on. Gina, lead us a bit.
I feel like talking about this is rattling me.
No, I can tell.
It's so weird.
I can tell because I'm looking at Brent. Brent's cracking and making joke. I'm looking at Gina. There's no laughter coming from Gina. My sister, we are here for you.
No, that's long.
Anyway. We're here for you.
I'm not trying to be the guy to ensemble the mood, by the way. I'm just trying to be.
No, I get it.
No, the mood doesn't have to stay serious.
You know what it is? I'm just really in my head in a minute.
No, it's fine.
So
take your time.
I don't think I should lead.
I'll lead. Take your time.
I think you should. I'm even getting emotional. Bloody hell.
No, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
All right. Okay. Cool. Let's go to. We'll come back if you missed anything. We'll come back. Let's go to the discussion me and Crystal had about the list and the names on the list. All right. So I knew a guy. There's one particular guy that I knew on the list. Yeah, and he's my friend. And I've known him for almost 20 years. And he's shown me absolutely nothing and no reason why I would believe that he would be on this list in any capacity. Yeah. And I am the type of person to defend my friend's name if I believe that they're innocent and they haven't committed these crimes. So we're in a group chat now and we're talking about the names on the list, etc., and I'm defending said person. And then Crystal's like, I don't believe you should defend him because you don't know whether or not he's done anything or not, and you don't know whether or not he's guilty. I said, regardless of the fact that I don't even know the allegation for one, and even if the allegation was there, I don't know if he did it or not. But regardless of that, he's my friend, and I'm gonna defend him because for me, he's innocent until proven guilty. And I think with a lot of girls, as soon as the label of sexual abuser or rapist is attached to someone, they're guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. So the question is, for you lot, are you more so like me, where you're going to defend your friend, regardless of the fact that you know or don't know what the crime is, but you can attest to his character and his morality and his heart, and you haven't seen or he hasn't given you any reason why he would be on there? Always say, you know what, I'm going to stay neutral because I don't know what is actually transpired and he might be guilty. So if he's guilty, and one thing that annoyed me was because Crystal was like, I was telling her that I didn't care to be wrong. I didn't care to be proven wrong. So if I defend my friend, she was like, all right, is that the hill you want to die on? You're willing to die on the hill? Yes, I don't care to be proven wrong because it's not an ego thing. I don't give a, it's not, you proved me wrong, man. I don't give a shit if I'm proved wrong. If my friend is guilty, he's guilty, but I'm going to defend him prior to me knowing the truth. It's not an ego situation. So she was like, I respect it. Cool. So are you guys more on the fence or defending your friend?
Like I said in in that conversation, I'm a ride or die friend, innit? That's just my character. So if I know you would, the only time I'm gonna be on the fence here, let me put it this way. The only time I'm on the fence is if I know your character.
Yeah.
This is it. If I know your character and I'm on the fence, it's because I know your character. If I'm defending you, it's because I know your character. So the way I move is going to be based on how I know you.
There you go.
So if there's no reason for me to believe do you know what I mean? If you've not shown me anything, like you said, and I can attest to your character, and I've known you for years, and I'm just like, no, they got the wrong guy or girl, I'm going to defend you. If I know that you're a bit higgy, then big man, do you get what I mean? And that's just me though. So like,
no, I agree.
It's got my response is going to be based on how I know you, and that's literally it. But ultimately, the kind of friend I'm defending you without even knowing the full facts of the case, purely because I'm riding for my friend, and that's just me. If that means I'm flawed, then fair enough. But also, like you, I don't mind dying on a hill for my bedroom, because it's not a case of, if I get proven wrong, it doesn't mean that, like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm proven wrong. Like, are you going to be like, you were wrong? I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
And it's going to be a rattler.
Yeah.
To know that you are wrong and you defended your friend. But that's something that I'm going to have to deal with at the time.
It's going to be this. It's going to be
raw. It's going to be my cross.
You're guilty, yeah? Swear down. I thought I knew you. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be like, rah, you think you know someone. And then, you know what I mean? And then, what was I going to say as well?
I'd rather them disappoint me after the fact than me basically call them guilty without seeing proof.
Yeah. Because, okay, this is what I said earlier, right? If you are my friend and you don't defend me, and this isn't based because you know me, you just choose to stay on the fence, then I see it as you're not my friend. Personally, that's just me. Because the way I ride, I expect you to ride the same. And I know you shouldn't expect everyone to treat you the way that you treat them, but it will be very disappointing to see someone I call a friend on the fence and not run to my defense based on the fact of them not wanting to get it wrong. Do you get what I mean? That's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And obviously, if you noticed, I didn't defend everyone who was on that list that I knew because I can't attest to everyone's character.
Yeah.
So if I can't attest to your character in that regard, and I've seen you move higgy, I'm not going to come to your defense because there's a strong possibility that you're guilty.
Yeah.
But if I believe you're not guilty because of the characteristics I do know of you, then I'm going to ride for you. So You know what I'm trying to say? It is what it is. And also it's dangerous because if you... No, one thing she said was, it was kind of like, aren't you afraid to look wrong in front of other people? I'm like, I don't know these people. I'm not pandering to people I don't know. Like, I'm going to defend my friend.
And you know what it is? Like I said to you before, with me, I consider my friends more family than anything.
Yeah.
So obviously it depends on the level of closeness that we have. But if you're one of those friends that I consider family, it's going to be the same thing, because if it was my sibling, I'd move exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Emmett Till.
Yeah, I gave this example in the group. I think Jesse brought it up initially, then I kind of went with it. Emmett Till was accused of whistling at a woman, a white woman. Emmett Till was a 12-year-old black boy, I believe he was 12 anyway, or around that age. And he was murdered. He was murdered because this woman lied, and she actually admitted that she lied later on. So one thing I'm going to say, and this is not to take away anything from any woman who's ever been abused, because it happens, it's real and it's wrong. But there are some cases where the man is innocent and the woman has lied. From my knowledge, I believe that the vast majority of cases, the girl is not lying, but there are a percentage of cases that she is lying. And so we can't, even though I think it's natural to be on the woman's side in these cases of sexual abuse, it's kind of like people's innate reaction to just favor the woman.
But then with you saying that, I've seen other people say things like, that's like people saying, you know, the whole Black Lives Matter stuff. Like, you know, not all white police officers kill black men.
Yeah.
And it's not the majority.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of making a bit too much noise. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like by saying that...
No, I'm not saying they're making too much noise.
No, I'm saying, but it's like, do you get what I'm trying to say, Brent? It's like, we know that not everyone is honest, and there, you know, there have been cases that we've seen where people have been dishonest and lied. Even, I don't know if anyone's watched the Brian Banks film that I mentioned before, prime example.
I had it in my notes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Basically, let me you lot get upset when the thing is, I don't get how it's a spoiler because it's in the synopsis, and when you read
spoiler alert,
when you read Netflix, it tells you what happens. But anyway, there's a black guy who's meant to play for the NFL, and his career goes down the drain because one of his schoolmates basically says that he raped her, and he didn't, and he went to prison because his public defendant was crap, and then came out and then tried to kind of like, I forgot the word, but get rid of his sentence. But when you watch that, you see it pan out. And why did I even start talking about it? I've lost my train of thought.
It was about no, basically I was saying that in some cases the woman might be lying.
I don't know why I even started talking about that film, but watch the film anyway.
No, but that example you gave is relevant because you said that he was accused of rape wrongfully.
Yeah, he was. But I don't...
you don't get why you were going to say it?
I don't know. But basically, what I'm saying is we have to be careful, because when we start saying stuff like, you know, some girls have lied though, and it's like you're kind of quietening the voices of those that are actually victims. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to quiet anyone's voice.
Yeah.
I think my thing is just from the list point of view. The same way... we don't want to quiet the voices of victims, but in the same vein, we don't want to tarnish the name of innocent men. So it's like, I'm not saying pick a side, but it kind of goes hand in hand. Some men are guilty, some men are innocent. Some women are telling the truth, some women are lying. Like I said, I think it's the vast majority of women who are telling the truth. And I'm not here saying that the list is inaccurate. It's more so to do with grouping people together without having validity that they done X, Y, Z. That's kind of what it is. Because I don't think, Twitter, do we think Twitter is the right forum for this?
I don't think the way this whole thing has panned out was effective.
It's how it started. The main thing is how it started. Yeah. The whole lack of critical thinking with this list creation in the first place.
I agree.
Forget about the whole... reducing the severity of said names or the victim's trauma by saying that, well, some women might lie. Forget about all of that. Let's go right to the very beginning.
I think someone said it kind of started from because the day before the Banj
That's where it
was
came
accused
from.
of rape.
Yeah.
And that's
And
what
apparently that's where it came from. Or that was the catalyst.
He's pissing me off though, man.
We're going to get into that.
Yeah. So that was apparently that was the catalyst. But I think, okay, going off what you're saying, I think the collation of the list wasn't done in the best way. And even though Twitter and social media is our generation's platform, so it's like, where else am I going to go if I'm not going to go to social media? I get that. But still, it just creates just a pool of confusion and a pool of just toxic chaos. Like, it's just a bit mad. There's no validity to the list. You just have to basically follow society and just believe it. Like you said, if you go against it and say, oh no, women are lying, then you're going to be looked upon as someone who's complicit in these things. Like, I think it's like we have to believe everything that's being said and just take it as black and white as they're giving it to us.
I don't know.
I don't know, but that's kind of like the feel I'm getting from just the whole.
Again,
I mean,
I don't know. We saw certain accounts giving more context to said submission of name, right?
Yeah.
A few, yes.
And off the back of that, there is more story
coming
given to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the feedback from those stories were largely thumbs up to the victim. We believe you because, oh my goodness, the account is there.
Yeah.
And then you had corroborating stories.
Yeah.
Other women brave enough to come and be like, well, this might be my time to, we need to get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
Now, all of that is fine because now you have context. Now you have a dash. This is why this person is on this.
Yes.
And then you get them coming and giving their little apologies and whatnot. Again, one is now sort of justified in taking a stance of you mother effing, this, that, and the next, you're disgusting, blah, blah, blah. Because now you have more of the story.
Yes.
This critical thinking, and as you said, Twitter might not be a place for long form conversation or dialogue or dissecting of said thing.
Yeah.
But now there's more information.
Yeah, no. And in those cases where we were able to get more information, then that's great. So now we can actually say, okay, cool, this guy did this thing.
Yeah.
And we can, get him out of it.
Yeah.
But there's others. For example, a guy DM'd me yesterday. Just started off as general chit chat, whatever. I asked him if he was okay. He asked me if I was okay. I said, yeah, I'm fine. I asked him, are you okay? He said, no, not really. I have a dilemma. I said, what's the dilemma? And I hope you don't mind me talking about this, brother. Obviously, I'm not going to mention your name. He goes, he has a dilemma. He goes, I'm not sure if you know, but a list came out the other day on Twitter with a list of sexual abusers. And I'm on the list and I have no idea why I'm on the list and he don't know what to do. So now I'm trying to advise him on what to do. I said to him, oh, can you think of any situation that you've been in with a girl that, she may have felt violated by you? Do you have any situation with a girl where maybe it became, aggressive or hostile or in any capacity? Is there any girl that you're not on good terms with? Or have you reached out to any girl you've dealt with and asked them, hey, this is the scenario. I'm just trying to get some, transparency, trying to understand why I may be on the list. Can you give me an account maybe where you feel X, Y, Z? So I was trying to help him, trying to get some understanding of what he may have done to get him on there, because there's no smoke without fire. So you're on there for a reason, unless someone is just...
No, don't say there's no smoke without fire, because that undoes everything that you were saying, that anybody could just put a name on the list without...
Okay, cool. But okay, cool. Let me. Okay, all right. Hold that point. No, but let me go back a bit. How these names are submitted, I don't know. So me saying, an anonymous account can submit a name, I don't know. To be fair, I don't know the girl who's collating the list. I don't know if she's getting the name, checking the account. I don't know what she's doing. So yeah, what was that? Yeah, no, if I was on the list, I'd be completely shocked. But I would obviously have to do some research and find out why. Because again, even though I feel that I've had a pretty pristine resume, I'm not perfect. And there may be a time when I've been with a girl and I may have violated without knowing. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I believe that my resume is clean. And obviously there's guys who have committed heinous crimes who are not on the list, because this list is only a Twitter list. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's heavily a Twitter list, actually, because I noticed how at the bottom they had to specify people's Instagrams like separately, whereas with everybody else it was just literally a Twitter thing.
Yeah.
So like in some of my other group chats, a lot of them were like, Gina, who are these people? And I was like, if you're not on Twitter, you won't know. And I said, even me, I'm not on Twitter like that. So majority of the people on that list, I didn't know. Like I knew the minority, if that makes sense, because I'm not a Twitter person. Yeah. So I'm not really part of Black Twitter like that. So again, for me, a lot of them just flew over my head and I was like, oh, okay. Literally.
No, same here. Let's just say there was 80 names. I recognized maybe 5, 6. The rest of them are just ats who I don't even know who they are. Like, so it's like, okay, cool, it means nothing to me. I can only focus on the people that I knew of, whether associates or I knew them through someone else, or I followed them, whatever.
But can we go on to further what you were talking about in regards to guys not realizing or knowing that they've committed a crime,
yeah,
and use the whole Ray Black and Ambush scenario as an example, because like he, in his interactions with her, I'm talking the voice notes to her and then his public video of his, like, since everything has happened, just further showed me like you still just don't get, like you still don't get it, like you genuinely don't get it. So when they were talking in DMs, his response to her was, "Oh, allow me, man." Like, you know, that whole banter. Yeah, he didn't see the seriousness because at first it was my bad, and that's when she kind of got annoyed because she was thinking, "You're bad. It's bigger than your bad." And it was more like, "Oh, allow me, man. Come on," like that kind of jokey banter. No. Then it further was like, "Oh, you know me." No, because she's made it clear that it's the second time she's met you. And then what? And then he said, "Oh, but you know me, man. You know I'm not like a perv. I'm not a rapist. I'm not a, you know." So to me, it was like, yeah, I grabbed your tits, but it don't mean I'm as bad as these guys. Like, so it's like you don't feel like what you've done is serious. Going back to the whole idea of people just think that when it comes to sexual abuse or assault or anything under that umbrella, rape is the only, like, the main issue. Because look at his response. Again, it's like, you're not really, you know, it's like you're clearly only apologizing because she's made a big deal out of it, not because you generally feel like what you've done is wrong. And you're confirming that by just making comments like, "Oh, but you know I'm not a perv, I'm not this, I'm not this." Like, come on, it was a compliment. How is touching my tits a compliment? I don't understand. Then, obviously, Twitter's happened. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's making noise. You come with a video just talking about it. And then you say, "Oh, I thought it was a good egg girl. I'm sorry, that spun me."
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
I'm not Caribbean, so maybe some of our Caribbean
Brent?
followers can let me know.
Is he Jamaican?
I'm assuming so.
I'm not Jamaican.
You're not Jamaican. I'm gonna assume it's more like, like, "Go on, girl," like a compliment, like, "You're bad," kind of. I don't know. I'm not Caribbean, but that spun me completely, because again, even if that is meant to be the case, I don't get how you touching my tits is meant to be a compliment.
Touching someone's tits is wild.
But then also, when you hear his response again, he doesn't admit to fault. Like, he doesn't say, like, you know, that he was just like, "Oh, I didn't touch her in an aggressive manner."
It was like, "Yeah, I stroked it."
Yeah. My thing was, where is your manager?
Man
like,
said, "I didn't grab it, I just stroked it."
Who is your PR? Because but that's why I'm saying he made it. I felt like he made it worse for himself.
Made it by himself in his house. He didn't have no one around him.
Do you know what kills me? In one of the messages, his voice notes to her, he's got his friends in the background. So his friend's like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" He goes, "Oh, you know me, man. I'm dumb, innit? Like, I touched her tits." Like,
yeah, no, he knows he's in the wrong, but in his mind,
he don't care.
He wants to lessened the accusation. Like it wasn't a grab. It was a violation, but it was a stroke. Yeah, he basically was like, you know what, I done it, but it's just me, innit? I'm just ambushing it, whatever. So
and that comes with power. A lot of people, let me not say people, a lot of people love to abuse their power. And I feel like in the music industry, I'm not in the industry, but I can see it. Like even not using R. Kelly as a reference, but you've seen like, and obviously people are like, but there's groupies in the industry. I know that and I hear that, and I'm not saying that those people don't exist, but let's be honest, we do know that guys generally probably abuse their power and know that because I'm a somebody. So for example, we've seen other people come out. I've seen a few underage girls talking about how guys, certain artists like would want to
15
would want to chat to them and link them and do this and this and this and this and this, and it's like they can have every girl that they want. So why go for an underage girl? And it's like for them, it's like why not?
No, they're sick in the head. They're ill. They're ill. I don't even think it's. And you're right, but I don't think it's even a why not. I think they're sick.
I just think, and that's what I'm saying. I don't even think it's a case of being sick. I think people just generally, number one, don't care. And I feel like women have been, let's be honest, women have been objectified for years. Just in life. Yeah. So I feel like men have got away with this for so long purely based on the fact that women have always been portrayed as objects, especially in the music industry. And these are the people we're talking about. So there isn't that courtesy of, but she's a woman, she has feelings. You know what I mean? Like come on, it's just breast and batty. Like there's no respect there. So you're not gonna come and think about, she's underage, or you're just seeing it as, bruv, this is tits and vag and breast, like any other thing. So because you don't respect her as a woman, you're not gonna move with respect. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I think with the industry in particular, I think when rappers see women in that space, they're like, okay, cool, you're in this space, so you must be down for this.
Yeah, and it's
or
like,
why else would you be here? Kind of thing. I think that's kind of where they see it. Okay, you're a video girl, you're on a set, whatever. If you're in and amongst this world, then you must be about what this world is about. And I think that's where a lot of the men get it misconstrued. But the underage thing, I think that's even a different, because
that's a different
topic. The ones who are being accused, the women are not women who are in the industry. They're just girls on Twitter, or Insta, and they're DMing them, and she's like, "I'm 15," and they're like,
"Oh no." The reason why I wanted to talk about that is because so I've also seen things both sides. It's weird because I've seen. You're never gonna please everyone, innit? And everyone's got their own opinion. So I've seen people come out and like attack Ray Black, like, but he apologized to you in his DMs. Why did you expose him? Like, it's just a clout thing, etc., etc. I've also seen people, when these underage girls are speaking, well, obviously they're not underage now, but say stuff like, but at your age, why was you chasing after man who are older than you? You don't love it. Why do you, at your age, why are you sending those kind of pictures? Like, you underage girls, like, you think you're too big for your boots anyway, and then when shit happens, you want to cry. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm seeing all of that, and I'm like, at the end of the day, regardless of whatever your opinion is wrong, innit? You have to call it out.
Yeah, no, wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. And these guys need to be exposed. I mean, like, any guy who commits sexual abuse, rape, whatever, violates women in a certain way, they need to be exposed 100%. But I don't think the way it was done was the best way. But I'm not an expert. I don't know what other way you could have done it. So who am I to speak? I'm just giving my opinion, kind of thing.
The Banj.
Oh no, sorry. Can we quickly go back to the daggering thing? So you mentioned so you compared grabbing a girl's bum to getting a wine at a rave. Sorry, at a carnival. So
I didn't. I asked you, are we going to talk about the culture of unwinding carnival and where is that the particular dance involves interesting activities.
Yeah. So the thing is, that's the culture of dancehall, of bashment. Caribbean culture is to wine, isn't it? So it's like, if you go carnival, that's what's in the air. Like, you go there, you see a girl, you get a wine. People don't, and at the core of it, people look at it as dancing. So it's like people don't look at dancing as a form of abuse, because the pattern is you see a girl, you whine on her, she looks back, if she's not on it, she walks away, and that's kind of just how it's been, even from the rave scene. Like you're in a rave, you see a girl you want to dance with, you might talk to her first. There's different ways of going about it. You might talk to her first, then you want to dance, cool, whatever. Sometimes you just go behind her and you start whining. Sometimes you hold the wine, she doesn't even look back, she doesn't care, because she wants to wine too. Sometimes it's nah, and then she bounces, or her friend goes, nah, whatever.
Again, most times for me, it's a bit different. I'm just standing there minding my business.
And the girl goes,
and she puts her box.
No, that happens too.
Mm-hmm.
That happens too. You're in a rave or you're at carnival, you're chilling, and then one girl looks at you, I like the look of him, and she's just doing her little shuffle towards you, then boom, the bum's on you. But that's the culture of carnival.
I don't think you can compare, like you said, because they're too like those are not like the rules, but do you get what I mean? Like they're unwritten rules.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's a cultural thing. So I've been around Caribbeans, and again, for me, if my man is whining on another girl, it's beef. That's me. And I'm not whining on another guy, for me. But I've been around Caribbeans and I've seen how they vibe, and they don't care. For them, a wine is a wine. Like uncle's whining with auntie over there, with his wife over there, and she's just like, "Good girl." Like that's just that's their culture. Do you get what I mean?
So, wine is just a part of the culture.
That's
like you're not gonna see a guy on this list because why is this guy on the list? Because at carnival he whined on me, and when I looked back, I didn't like him.
But
you know what I mean, you ain't gonna see that. But
there's levels though. Yeah. Like there's levels. So I think the point I'm making is, I'm not saying that it can't be perceived as harassment or whatever if it goes against what you again, it's down to it's down to what you're comfortable with, innit? So for example, if a guy was to whine with a girl, and obviously at first it's calm, then it starts getting a bit too vulgar for your liking.
Oh yeah.
So for example, like he starts daggering you, you don't like it, you try to retreat, he pulls you back. At that point, that's
at that point, that's when it becomes wrong, because she's made it clear to you that she's not comfortable with this level of dance, and you've now dragged me back from my retreat to continue to dagger me. No, come on.
No, because a lot of these videos I see with these yardie man, right? Like the whole pulling back is because the dagger has pushed it that way.
That's different.
But Brent, I remember with a lot of them, they know they're on stage, or it's not a random girl. Like it's like it's like not a tag team, but like I've not seen. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I get what you're saying, but like those videos that we see online, you volunteer, and you know there's no way you're going there not knowing that you're gonna eventually. And it's like a lot of the time I see like someone plus size with a really slim person.
Them slim guys, boy.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's all part of the culture. You know why you're there. You know that he's gonna try and flip you over, or you're gonna jump on him, and it's part of the entertainment, I guess.
But you can. To be honest, I need to say that you can like revoke your consent at any point in time, right?
100%.
Yeah, of course.
Right, cool.
Of course. And also, actually, going back to just dancing in general. So, just say you're at a rave here and you're dancing with a girl. Normal PG wine is hands on the hips. That's a normal standard PG wine here. Some guys may violate, and they might be whining with a girl, grabbing the bum cheeks. They might be trying to put the hands on the pussy, on the front.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that is a violation. I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I remember.
And I'm sure there's guys on the list who may be on the list for that.
When I was younger, and this one was nasty because I remember it. There was a girl, she was whining with a guy, and he cummed on her.
Gina, please don't say that when I've got water in my mouth.
Sorry, but legitly. And I
through the jeans.
I could.
Through the jeans.
I couldn't. So you clearly undone something. Big
I thought you meant he come in his jeans.
No, she had a stain on her.
Oh my
Fam,
God.
that's fucking disgusting.
I feel sick.
I'm not joking. Like
I feel sick.
He pulled his piggy out and...
Bruv, he had to, because how is there...
No, if she's got cum on her cloth, then
yes.
he definitely put his dick through the hole. But if it's like...
This is what I'm saying about boundaries.
If she's got a wet patch, then maybe he just cummed on himself and then just the friction just made it transfer. But
jeans are thick though, man.
Maybe he was wearing trousers.
Jeans are thick, bruv. I don't think it can transfer. There's no way it's transferring from inside you onto someone else.
Velour, young shorts.
Piss off.
No, listen. I'm sure that he pulled his dick out if she had come on her dress, of course.
Bruv.
That's disgusting, and that's another level of violation. Like the wine is the wine, but when you want to get the extras, I didn't consent to the extras. I consent to the wine, to the Sean Paul. I mean, parcel,
Parachute.
parcel. You get me? And you want to now grab my bum and grab my pussy, big man? That's a violation. That's a violation. So there's levels, isn't it? But it's all wrong.
I'm so happy we're having this conversation, though, honestly, because
It's a safe space.
no, I meant as a community.
Oh, I thought you meant
like, I'm actually happy that the conversation's happening because hopefully moving forward, man, them are gonna start moving on their be on their 10 toes and like move properly because like I said, I feel like a lot of people over the years have probably just got away with a lot of shit because they didn't think.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
I think now we should talk about the whys. Like, why are these guys doing this? You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
maybe, and I'm gonna ask you because you're a guy in it. So, is it? So when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking: is it an ego thing? Is it a power thing? Is it a control thing? Is it a like what is it? Because again, I would in this kind of conversation, I would be on the receiving end.
Yeah.
So I need to understand like. Is it because obviously I know that it's not as black and white, and some people might even have been abused when they were younger. Some people don't know, but like there's so many factors that can contribute to whatever is going on.
Yeah.
But let's just take it at kind of like face value or like black and white.
Yeah.
What do you think from a male perspective?
All right.
It could be.
So for me personally, I don't know, and I find it very hard to decipher why men move the way they do, but. I'm an intelligent guy, so I can just take myself outside and try and think of different reasons. It depends on the individual. So I'm going to go different cases here. Some guys are just sourceless individuals, let's be honest. They don't know how to talk to women. They don't know how to read the room. They don't know how to act with women. And in doing that, they just become creeps and deviants in trying to get what they want because I don't know, they might be facially challenged, whatever the case may be. There's some cases where the guys are just, certain guys get women for X reason. You might be a handsome guy, good looking, you might have money, you might be funny, you might have charisma, whatever. Certain girls are attracted to certain things in men. There's some guys who don't possess much of any of these things. And in doing that, they don't really know how to act around women. And I think that sometimes breeds these deviants because they don't know how to get what they want. So they have to force it or they have to be creeps about it and be sly about it. And sometimes guys are just sick in their heads. Like we can't even talk to why they are the way they are because it's probably stemmed from so many different factors from childhood to relationship with their parents to porn to whatever. And they've got this manifestation in their head and they just become who they are. Some men, like you just said, sometimes it might, I don't know, be about power and be about dominance and wanting to, control a woman. I don't know. Some men might be turned on by violence. I have no idea. Like, it's hard for me to really decipher. And like, I think in the group it was like, a lot of guys are controlled by their dick or as Glory would say, they're horny.
Yeah.
So
Gloria
some guys
horny.
some guys are very horny and they can't, one, take rejection. Two, they can't get riled up and not get what they want or finish. Like, it's hard for them. Let's just say a guy comes to your house and he's on 0. Things happen, he's on 10. What he wants to happen is not going to happen. He can't go back down to 0. He's on 10 and he's stuck on 10. So therefore, he commits a crime because he's on 10 now and he can't calm down and just accept that what he wants isn't going to happen and now he's violating. Some guys don't know what they're doing is a violation as well. So a lack of understanding of women, a lack of understanding of the girl you're dealing with. Because like I was saying in the group, with particular situations, you know the girl you're dealing with. You know you've got a certain chemistry, you've got a certain vibe, you've got a certain understanding. So how do you not know that she is not comfortable in this situation? How do you not know that what you're doing is wrong? Like, you know her. Like, aren't you? And like I was saying to Jessie as well, there's cues in it. Like, do you ever stop to ask a girl, is she okay? Like, are you okay? Are you comfortable? Speak, communicate. Yeah, you might be with a girl, you might be kissing her, foreplay's happening, and then sex is imminent, yeah? Have you ever stopped her before it happened and said, are you okay? Are you fine? Do you want to go through with this? Are you comfortable? It's not rocket science, bruv. Open your fucking mouth. You know what I'm trying to say? Certain guys, they don't have that level of intuition or the emotional capacity to even think that they should do that. They just go. They don't even think to, like, nah, why should I ask her? She's there, innit?
Exactly. It's an entitlement, though.
I'm sure it is.
It is an entitlement because you feel like, oh, she's already here. Like, why wouldn't she want to go through with it?
Yeah.
So, something I also mentioned in the group, speaking to Mandem this week, was another point that got posed to me was, Gina, some of these, not allegations, but let's just say in the scenario of the guy who, not obviously the serious ones, but let's just say the guy who moved to a girl and went to lips her and didn't ask and kind of pounced on her.
Yeah.
His thing was, but Gina, if the girl likes the guy, the same act would not be a problem. So he was like, if there was, do you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
If there was two guys, one that you found attractive, one that you didn't find attractive, they did the same thing. The guy you found attractive, you would not see it as, oh, he assaulted me or feel that you were violated. But the guy who you didn't find attractive, who, you know, you might think ill, that one is the one where you're going to be like, nah, this guy violated me, and see it as a form of whatever you deem it to be. And I was like, do you know what? As a female, I can see, I can put myself in that scenario and see how that is possible.
It's still not a valid argument because the onus is on you, the female, to choose.
Yeah, it's true.
Again, I care less about that.
Hold on, wait. So hold on. Let me just go back to what you're saying. So the statement is that, and if I'm wrong, this is kind of what I decide from what you just said. Not it's only a violation, but sometimes it's a violation if the girl doesn't like the guy.
Yeah.
And if the girl does like the guy, it's not a violation. So a guy she finds attractive and likes versus a guy who he's moving to her, she's not interested. He's moved to her without asking and pounced on her. What you doing? I don't even like you. That's a violation. The guy I like does the same thing, pounces on me, but I actually want him to pounce on me. It's not a violation.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're saying that that's air.
It's air for them to use it as something to kind of question the girl's understanding of what is good and what isn't good.
Yeah.
Don't classify it as, it's 50-50 if it's sexual abuse, because if she did like the guy,
then it's not.
It's not sexual abuse. But if she doesn't like the guy, because for me, it gets thrown out because, again, it's her agency.
Let's just take that away. Let's just take it away though. Even if she didn't want the guy to do that to her, but she liked him. So again, it wasn't. So talk from that perspective.
All right.
Because I want them to be. Wonderful. I want it to be equal. Yeah.
So she didn't want either.
She didn't
to kiss
want either
them,
to kiss her, but one kissed. Yeah, she liked
Okay.
one and she didn't like the other. And obviously in both scenarios, she didn't retreat. She kind of that awkward going with the flow, but obviously it's not her choice.
Yeah.
All right, question then. So is it unfair for her to accuse the guy she doesn't like of abuse because she doesn't like him?
So you were asking, if that happens with a guy that she does like, is it right for her to then go and put him on the list? One would say she probably wouldn't because she likes him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she might have a conversation with him because she likes him.
Yeah.
Because she wants the benefit of the doubt that he is a good guy, but he just, it may have been a mistake. So in talking to him, if she finds out that the guy, he's tapped in the head, her like for the guy may just disappear.
Yeah. Because I think a girl is not going to put a guy on the list if she likes him. And obviously it depends on...
I guess that's
it's
where
a question of decency and respect.
Also depends on the severity of what he done. Like a girl could like a guy and he could rape her. So her like for him goes out the window. But in this particular scenario that we're describing of just going in for the kiss, going in for the pounce, she's going to go and throw... I'm going to call him the ugly guy. She's going to throw the ugly guy on the list because she doesn't like him. But then the other guy gets scot-free because she likes him. No?
No.
Wow.
How?
Because Brent, you're assuming that she's
No.
gonna have the conversation. So
No.
what if she doesn't have the
Because
conversation?
it's not equal anymore. You've thrown an ugly guy in there.
No, he said he's calling him.
I'm
that.
calling the ugly guy because that's the guy she doesn't like. I'm just using it as a term.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, what I'm saying is she's gonna put him on the list and not the guy she likes because she likes him. So it's like, is that fair?
Okay.
Obviously, it's that's life, innit? But is it fair for both guys to do the same thing, but because you like one of them and you don't like one of them? And when I mean like, I mean attracted to and you want them.
Okay. I may be wrong. Gina, hit me up if I am. But if it is somebody does something to you and you feel as though it's out of character, would you judge them more harshly than the person who you feel it's in character to do such violating things? Like,
Oh, that's a good
let me
question.
give you an example where I've involved myself. So I've come in and I've hugged you and I've kissed you on your cheek.
Mm-hmm.
Would you slap me on a sexual abusers list because
No.
I've kissed you? Why is that?
Because it's not your character.
All right. So if it
And-
is,
I wouldn't. Yeah.
if it is, if hugs you and then kisses you on the cheek, you may not slap him on the list, but you be like, do it.
Yeah, and because I don't know him and I know you.
And that's basically what I'm
About
saying.
who you're familiar with as well. Can I just give you an example? Yeah. So there's a guy a couple of years ago, yeah, who I knew liked me. I didn't like him. I made it clear I didn't like him, but it was more like we were friends. So it was like, oh, I like you. I'm like, yeah, cool. You're not my type though. I'm going to be honest. I'm just letting you know from the jump because I just couldn't be bothered to go down the road of like, of having to like par you, if that makes sense. So we became really good friends. We were cool. And then one day we went to, I think he met me in West End. I don't remember why, but I was like, oh, I'm going to be in West. All right, let's link up. Cool. Met up now. I will never forget this. And I felt violated. Leaving now. So I'm about to say bye. So when I'm talking to him, I'm like, oh, I'm going to see you later, whatever, talking. So he's like, oh, you got something on your eye. Yeah. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah, let me take it off for you. Close your eyes. I closed my eyes. This guy kissed me.
That's the oldest trick in the book. Not that I've done it, but
Listen, I was so livid. I was so livid.
But can I quick interject?
Yeah.
We've seen that on movies as like a move.
I'm slow in it, so I never saw it coming.
You got something in your face. Close your eyes. Like that's
No,
that's seen as like romantic.
No, I hear that, but I never saw it coming. Like in that moment, I never saw it coming. I just thought, okay, cool, whatever it is, whatever. But afterwards, I was just like,
So would you classify that as him just being mad stupid, and it wouldn't you wouldn't elevate it to the put him on the list?
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I wouldn't put him on the list,
Yeah.
but I definitely did feel violated.
Hold on, did you
Speak to him about it afterwards.
no, did you like him at all?
No.
That's the problem.
See, this is the thing.
No, in a way. Okay, cool.
But she said she says that she didn't like him. So
No.
if you're
No, but
going
you-
along with what you're saying, he should be on the list then.
No,
No,
what?
but you're gonna say if it was Sandals
Exactly.
or someone I found attractive, I didn't find him attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm
if I
saying.
find
I understand that, but that's common sense. She would like it if it is she liked the guy.
No, but
I'm
what-
talking about the list submission.
okay,
here.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, yeah, it's like,
You're
and I,
basically saying how unfair it is.
and I don't want this to turn into.
It's not unfair because
So
we're
it's like,
talking about different things.
no, but is it okay? No, I'll make a statement. Is it okay for a girl to put a guy on the list?
Are we clapping this out?
No, I don't think I said
No,
anything
no,
wrong.
no.
You clapped though.
I didn't.
No, because I
I
thought.
made a mental note that I wasn't going to do anything. He was going to say something, but he didn't. And then we continued. So
Yeah, I don't know
knew
because
this.
you lot's
Yeah.
reaction was like,
Yeah.
so I thought, did I say something wrong? So I clapped.
Yeah.
No.
No, okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
was thinking, huh?
Alright, cool. So, is it okay for a guy to be on the list because the girl doesn't like him if another guy who she liked done the same thing, but because I like this guy, he can get away with it, but you ugly frog, you're on the list.
And that's why I said you have to classify when they're having the interaction. A female takes a lot of things into consideration.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe, in fact, I don't believe that the majority of the names that were submitted was a female just deciding to just jump in a trend and slap people's names on
Of
the
course
list.
not.
Of
I
course not.
believe that
Of course
they sat with this for long. And a lot of the instances
hope.
that I saw, it
There's
was
hope.
2 years, back in 2014, 2018, like time that you were sitting it. Even the Ray Black incident, this happened before, right? And she's now mentioning it. Some people be like, but why didn't you mention it before? Da, 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 da. Oh, cool. You can have that argument. That's a different discussion, right? So in my mind, when something happens, if immediately the girl doesn't say something, it might be a case of she doesn't realize yet how much it has affected her.
Yeah, of course.
2 weeks down the line, she might be like, wait a minute, this is wild. I mean, the date went this way. We were in a car. I didn't give him any inclination that this was cool and he did this. Yeah. It might hit her then, right?
Yeah, of course.
But based on his character, the character assessment makes a lot of difference here. If it is that his advances, like a cheeky little something on your eye, Gina just brushed off as this guy's such a goofy mother effer. He liked me, I didn't like him. He was like,
still ill, though.
Yeah, it was still disgusting. But you wouldn't classify him, all right, put him on the list because you know what being on the list actually means. And you didn't take it as that. You just took it as, this guy's so dumb. Let me have a word with him instead so that this crap doesn't happen again to somebody else, blah, blah, blah. So it's the character assessment of the fella, the decency of assessment of the fella.
Yeah, no, I don't think this list is a list of guys who've told a girl to shut their eyes and kiss them. Like, I don't.
Yeah, this is
I don't think so. This example, don't get it twisted, guys. This example is not what we think is being.
Yeah.
You know, this is not what we think people are being accused of. This is just a blanket example. I think the guys on the list to the girls have done a lot more. Like the severity levels are much higher. This example is very just PG. To be honest with you,
I could have a conversation with you asking me, well, what if it is because of the submission criteria?
Yeah,
anybody could have put that name on the list, and you don't even have to have a proper account.
Yeah.
You could have an anonymous account and you just submit a name. I can have that conversation because that's a different question you're asking me.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation, and that to me is like that's a whole nother kettle of fish. So you've got girls on there who are making accounts to tarnish a guy's name.
Guys.
Yeah, even guys. But then that's a whole different thing. It's like, okay, cool, why are you doing this? Like, you've got an agenda or whatever, a vendetta against this person. That's a whole nother thing.
I feel, sorry to cut you off, and I feel for a particular name that's on the list, the reason as to why is you haven't had so much outpouring online regarding why said person hasn't said anything yet is because of the character
people know the character
assessment precisely.
Yeah, character assessment. And also, I think with that particular individual, they're waiting for a particular thing to be released because they think, okay, cool. When this comes out, he's probably going to address it on this. So...
Yeah, still, but I still feel as though his character is giving him the benefit of the doubt, to be honest.
No, that 100%. And I've actually read comments under said person's name just to see what the general vibe was. And a lot of it was, no, I don't believe he's that way because he has said this, this, and this on numerous occasions over X amount of years. Why would he?
That's nonsense, though. That argument is such worst.
No.
Well, he said this, so it can't be true.
No, but okay, cool. If it's someone who follows this person or listens to this person, then they can only go off that, innit? So I don't blame them. That's all they have to go off.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, if a listener was to, if I was on the list, for example, and a listener was to give their account of me, they're gonna base their whole argument of how I'm on the podcast. You know what irritates me as well, yeah? The guys who suddenly become English scholars in their apologies.
Their thesaurus.
Using all of the buzzwords.
Yeah, where are these words coming from, man? Relax. It's so jarring. Just speak normally. Speak how you would speak. Don't stop trying to sound intelligent and extremely articulate.
Yeah, but Ambush did that and you don't accepted it.
No, but I didn't accept it because of how he was coming
violated
across.
Still, but you know.
No, he was saying the wrong things. Ambush, he was just being himself. I appreciate him being himself. If Ambush turned around now and he gave some Shakespearean reply, I'd be like, Ambush, real deals it. This is not you. But Gina, are you okay?
Yeah.
Just checking in.
Oh, aren't you cute?
Yeah, I'm trying. All right, cool. There's so much more to unpack here. Where do we go to next? Because I feel like we've touched, but we haven't really like. You know
Can I just quickly lighten up the mood?
Yeah, go on.
Shout out to Really Up.
Really Up.
Because P is for pressure.
I haven't called him back yet, actually.
Within the...
Jeez, he contacted you all?
We got the footage. I swear, after this episode.
God is a good guy.
Yeah.
God is good.
So I was at my cousin's house and then I looked at my phone and I see missed call from William. Obviously, I couldn't call him back then. But then maybe the next morning, he sent the footage via email with a little message. I tried to contact you and Gina yesterday. I am going to call them at some point. But yeah, the thing is, I don't want to praise someone for doing something they should have done a year ago.
No, 100%.
So I'm not all with this. Oh yeah, William came through. Big man, you're a year late. So allow me in it.
I'm just trying to. I'm literally just trying to like.
I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about just. Obviously, I don't blame them, but the comments underneath the post that I done, it's like, yeah, William came through. Don't praise him for his tardiness. Even though he came through after a year, don't praise someone for mediocrity. But yeah, William did send the footage, raw footage that Hillary is now editing. But yeah, William, I'm going to call you. I'm actually wondering how he heard. Did he listen to the pod or someone told him? Because
I think a bit of both. I think he. Remember I said before that he listens to the pod, so I don't know if he still did.
That's cheeky though to still listen. You better unsubscribe.
But then
after you done what you did about I still listen. Nah, how can you listen to our voices knowing that you have our footage?
But he's invested.
But then
I'm livid.
It was in the title, the caption, so it could be a case of someone who knows that he did it for us and be like, bruv, you might want to listen to this episode.
William.
But I'm not gonna lie, that was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. I gotta find the video of the William. That's
I don't know where you got it from.
It's a comedian talking about no, he's talking about, you know when he used to do The Apprentice?
Yeah.
Self-preservation.
What do you mean?
If it is what gets out, that is that he's not good for his word. He's not good for business.
Yeah, of course.
Especially in this time when we're trying to invest in black.
At the end of it, so someone reached out to me and was like, rah, the caption. And I said, yeah, from...
The William episode.
Yeah, and was like, rah. And I was like, but we got the footage.
Oh, what? Did people think that we were bad for doing it?
No, it was just like shit then. And I was just like, well, I mean, I don't know what else there is to do at this point. We've tried calling, you don't want to answer, you don't want to respond to texts.
I showed you the text thread.
This is what I'm saying. So it's like...
It was lengthy.
So at that point, what can one do?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, it's true.
And I said, and it got the end result, so it is what it is.
It is what it is. All right, cool. Is there anything else we want to discuss in regards to the list? Because my mind's gone all over the place. I don't even know kind of what we haven't really concluded on or what we haven't at this point. It's kind of like a blur. So much to unpack. Shall we talk about the guys who are, even though they're on the list, they're just still brazenly on the timeline, tweeting recklessly?
So we'll wait for Gina to return. She wants to be part of that.
Shall we talk about some of the friends of the guys who are just openly cancelling them on the timeline, like statements, about 5 tweet statements saying, I am no longer affiliated, this person is no longer my friend. Are we going to talk about that? Are we going to talk about people who are on the list who haven't yet spoken for XYZ reason? Are we going to speak to the guy who I saw a tweet of saying, oh, let's talk facts, man. 99% of the girls on these who are submitting these names are hoes.
Wow.
I was like, whoa. I was like, that's a pretty high percentage.
Wow.
That's wild. Am I lying? That's wild.
I haven't seen the tweet.
Hold on, let me find it. It was in the group chat. It was in our me and June's group chat.
Sorry. Does he know who was there submitting names, or was it the people that actually came out to give more context that he's calling hoes?
Gee, you know that tweet you sent into the group that said 99% of the girls who are submitting these names are hoes? Yeah. Who was that person?
Someone I know. It's not famous to a person.
But do you have the tweet? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that.
Yes, something to that degree. So then that, to me, that raises a whole nother conversation.
What does it raise?
Like, let me just make sure I get it right.
Pause.
The conversation is...
Sorry.
Or, not even the conversation is there any way that some girls give the guy the impression that she's on stuff, but she isn't, and then things happen, but you gave me the impression you was because, I don't know, maybe you're very flirtatious, or, you know, you are quite...
Wow.
Is that a clap moment?
I might just have to take that out.
All right, take that out. Whatever. Is there any validity, if that even says it correctly, to a girl leading a guy on, and then once he's led on, accusing him of abuse? Is there any convo there?
Gina, you want to speak first, or?
But let's not do a justifying pod. So I'm not about any convo we have. I don't want it to be we're trying to justify anything.
Yeah.
So if it's not a convo to have, let's just
because this is one tweet,
take it out.
Putting forward a theory.
Yeah.
I think for me it annoys me because I was like, you can't say stuff like that. I was just like, what does that mean?
You know, that's
like,
a wild
for
statement.
me, even if you are a hoe,
Quote unquote, she just did.
if you you can't see me. I did the quote unquote.
Did you ignore my claps as well in your head?
No, I'm taking up.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, if you are a quote unquote a hoe, or someone who is, that still doesn't mean
To take out her one as well and your one.
Why?
I have to know it.
You have to. Every time you say it, it has to be taken out now.
Oh, is it?
I don't like the fact that he said it because I don't think people would understand that it's coming from an inquisitive.
Oh, but me saying it is fine.
No, you saying it means that you've referenced what he said.
Yeah, or what someone said.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Basically, for me, I feel like that's neither here nor there. That doesn't mean that you cannot be violated or that you have no right to be put. You have no right to have these experiences. Do you get what I mean? Because the way I read it was like, oh, these girls are hoes anyway, man. So to be fair, like they're just chatting shit because this is what you look like. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas my thing is, okay, that's neither here nor there. If I'm sexually active or whatever you want to call me, it doesn't mean that I'm not in a position to feel violated.
Of course.
Do you understand what I mean? And this is the maddest thing because if you are sexually active, it is by choice. You choose to be sexually active. Do you understand what I mean? So if I've chosen to be sexually active, it doesn't mean that because of that, it means I'm choosing to be violated. Do you get what I mean? And that's how I'm reading it. So that tweet, I just thought, you're chatting shit.
Yeah, that
Big
tweet
man,
is, that
you
tweet
need
is
to
absolute bullshit.
reduce.
No, I hear you. And that tweet is absolute garbage and bullshit, to be fair. I just wanted to bring it up because it was so heinous. I just had to say it. All right, cool. Where do we go from here, though? Where do we go from here?
You mentioned several things while Gina was taking the whiz.
I heard you're talking about people that have disowned people in public, people
Yeah.
that are like pandering to whoever on the timeline, and people who are on the list that are still moving active.
Yeah, so
Active.
certain guys. There's certain guys on the list who this is not their first rodeo. Like they've been accused before, and this is just a continuation of what's already been happening. So they're not taking it that serious. Then there's guys like the guy who DM'd me and another guy I saw actually who listens to the pod actually who was who's apologized. Obviously, there's another guy who apologized as well. Not sure if I should say his name. He has a platform.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So he apologized. And the thing with him in particular is, you know there's another guy actually, but I don't know him to talk about him, or even know his name. But another guy was, you know when a guy is outed and then bare girls just start sending in bare accounts. Oh yeah, me too. I'm like, right, this guy is active. So the guy who I just mentioned before, who has a platform, that's kind of the narrative with him. So he was on the list, and then bare girls have come out and said, yeah, he was in my DMs, or he moved to me, or he tried with me. I'm like, right, he's a collector. Like, so it's like, and when you look at him, you're thinking, rah, obviously you can't judge a book by its cover, but a lot of this is like shocked me. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to talk about a little bit. So I'm kind of like shocked a bit by some of the people that I know of that are on it. I'm like, rah, this is how you move. Like you're like, what going through your head, isn't it? It's a bit mad to know that people who you follow or may chat to or whatever are behind closed doors being deviants and being abusers. It's rattling to know that these things are occurring on such a frequent basis. And especially for me, because I'm not this way inclined at all, to know that people are doing this, I'm like, right, you niggas are really living double lives out here. Like you're coming across a certain way in public on the timeline, but behind closed doors in the DMs, you're just moving wild. Like I don't understand it. And it's like, okay, cool. Also, actually, going back to the whole don't group race. I want to say racist. Rapists with liars, etc. Like for example, that make sure the severities are on the same level. So I say that to say the people who are losing endorsements or losing deals or losing their jobs because they're on the list, not because what they've done has been specified, but just being on there, they've lost. So for example, I think I can say this actually. Benja, they had a collaboration with someone on the list called S Snow, I believe his name is. So they had a capsule collection or whatever, I'm not sure what it was. So, but this collection had already been sold. People have already bought it. So then Benja released a statement saying that they are now severing ties with SS Snow, and everyone who bought his whatever it was, just say it was a t-shirt, whatever, they're gonna get their money back.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're severing ties with him, but Benja don't know what he's done, but just him being there is enough. So that's what I'm saying. Is like,
but then
you can potentially destroy someone who may or may not be guilty. I don't know. That's why it's dangerous to put everyone together. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. But obviously, if you're looking at it from a business perspective for Benja as well, if they continue to, it's going to look like they're being complicit. Complicit. Do you get what I mean? So it's a hard decision to make, but ultimately you have to think about you first in that instance, from a business perspective. So it's a lot. It's mad, and I guess that's why a lot of people are extremely rattled, because this isn't a small list to be put on that's gonna just die down in the space of, do you know what I mean? And it's like, now put it this way, moving forward now, people are always gonna associate you with this list.
It's mad.
Like, moving forward, you are gonna be judged based on this list. Like, regardless of whether you're innocent, guilty, we know what happened or not. Like, just the fact that your name's on there, people are always gonna remember this and be like, oh, that's that guy that was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's very damaging. It's very damaging. Like, to be associated with that, like, I'll be mortified if I was associated with something like this. Like, absolutely mortified. So I feel for the girls who've gone through this stuff. Like, I really, really do. And also the guys who might or may not be innocent, but again, I'm not here to justify or to reduce any girl's experience. If a girl feels that she was violated or abused, then you got to put your hand up and you got to speak. You got to speak. Definitely.
Do you know what? Yeah. And to those that are saying stuff like, but why talk about it now? I think what people need to understand is, like we said before, sometimes you do not even realize that you've been abused or being violated. Sometimes, and it takes somebody speaking out about something that you can relate to for you to come to that realization that, oh shit, like, this happened to me too. And if you're in a position to be able to prevent other people from also going through said situations, then it's hard. And not everybody obviously wants to talk about certain situations, because talking about it essentially is reliving that moment. So if it's something that's extremely traumatic to you, you're not going to want to willy-nilly like talk about it. And there's loads of repercussions. For example, like even with Very Black, I know that one of her, I think she made a comment and said something like one of her, well, she's not her friend anymore, kind of persuaded her not to speak on it and said because she'd be blackballed in the industry. So obviously, if you're thinking about your career, you know that by coming out and saying something as big as this could potentially be damaging towards your career, or it can have so many different effects and repercussions. So you can also understand and empathize with someone why they wouldn't want to come out and speak on it straight away. And now they're in a position to do it, because you know what everybody else is sharing, and this is something I've always wanted to get off my chest, and I feel safer now to do so because I know that I'm not alone.
Yeah, that's the perfect example, because people find comfort in knowing that others have also been through what they've been through.
1,000%.
So they're more comfortable to speak out on it, because you can relate to them. When you believe that you're the only person who's been through something, you're less likely to speak on it. But when everyone else is doing it as well, okay, cool. This is a safe space. Everyone's talking about their experiences. Now I can share mine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel more comfortable. I can relate to her. I can relate to her. We can kind of, unify and, heal each other through speaking about individual experiences. So
and just prevent and also prevent the next generation or anybody else who could potentially end up in a similar situation to this, and allow them to make not even a better decision, but just to be more informed of how to kind of maneuver in that space as well.
Yeah, and I think people get courage from other people. So a girl speaking out might give you the courage and the bravery to now speak out as well. Whereas before, like it's not easy to just go out on a limb and say something in the public eye, because who knows what the backlash or whatever could be to it. So when it's something that everyone else is doing, it just makes it easier for you. So I encourage it, to be fair. I'm not one of them guys like, but you could have said it when it first happened.
Yeah, no, man.
You can say it whenever you want to say it.
And I'm sad. Do you know what? I feel like, I was like, you know what? I'm really sad that a lot of people have gone through these experiences because they're not nice. And I feel like there's a lot, like, there's a lot of mental stuff that can happen along with all of this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is a lot.
Listen, men are sick, innit? Men are sick, and a lot of you need help. I'm being real, bro. A lot of men need help. Look, like, let's be honest. A lot of men need help. A lot of men need education. They need awareness. They need to know, like...
And it starts with us, because we're not taught... The thing is, Yusuff, we're not taught these things. So remember how I said before, like, it's our guys will be guys. Like, it's banter. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, no, it's not. Like, so until we start having these conversations, which is why I said I'm happy we're having these conversations now to educate everybody. And I feel like within our community, a part of me at the time, I was really sad because I was like, this isn't infighting, by the way, because it's something that definitely needs to happen. It needs, like, it's so necessary to happen in terms of the conversation we're having. But you know, when it's just like, you know, for me, I hate when stuff within our community happens, honestly, because I just want us to be great. So I was just like, guys,
it has to.
But it has to. So for me, I'm seeing it as we're literally destroying and rebuilding, and it's something that it's necessary, and this is the year for that. 2020 already has shown us Wagwan, so it's the year of destroy and rebuild. So hopefully we'll be able to overcome this and just get to a better space, because there's a lot of work to be done.
Fathers, mothers, in my culture, in the African culture, black culture, full stop, who just allow their boys to do whatever and then try to teach their girls, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Not enough emphasis is placed on the decency and respect that a man should have towards women.
A lot of men
don't just give them a pass
lack respect
because they're men. They would just be men. No. Culture, what a man is supposed to look like, even if it is that the father's not there. Impute in that son. Hammer it in, day out, day in, day out, what respect looks like when it comes to him and a woman. So that from day one, when it is they go to primary school, when they go to secondary school, they're not doing madness in the corridor, thinking it's cool. So when it is they get to university, when it is that they get to their vocations, their jobs and whatnot, they don't have this ingrained violation culture in their mind, thinking it's cool, because they've known from day one that that's not how it is that you treat women.
I agree.
So if it is that we're destroying and rebuilding, let's also start from grassroots.
100%.
Yeah. And I hate the whole BLM crew are like, but this is not the time for this because Black Lives Matter.
This is the time.
I'm like,
and
this
Black
is
lives,
not,
and
this is a separate conversation. Racism and sexual abuse are two different conversations. They can be had at the same time. And
also for me though, I just see it as, is this not, of course, this is, to me, this also comes under Black Lives Matter. I don't see Black Lives Mattering just as a result of police brutality, to be honest with you. For me, a Black Life matters in all aspects. Do you get what I mean? So the same way, there's this notion that it's not just straight Black lives that matter. Do you know what I mean? It's inclusive to everybody. If you're Black, your life matters. So I don't see it any different to the Black Lives Matter narrative, in the sense of us having this conversation is impacting Black lives because it's within our community. Do you get what I mean?
I get what you mean. For me, it's different.
I get what you mean, though.
It's different because obviously Black Lives Matter is about, systematic racism and white people against black people, essentially. Whereas this conversation about sexual abuses and rape, it's not inclusive of race. For example, I don't know all the ethnicities of the guys on that list.
Yeah,
there could be white guys on that list. There could be Chinese guys on that list. So I don't think this is a black thing. It's only because we have black Twitter and this black vacuum, and so it feels like, obviously, if everyone who's talking about it is black, then it's a black thing. But sexual abuse is not exclusive to black people.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah.
I guess the point I'm making is, from what I've seen, it would appear that everybody on that list is black, or but then Tim Westwood,
Tim Westwood's on the
he's not
list.
black. But
Skinny Man's on the list. He's white.
But again, the victims I've seen are black women.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Talking. So again, so for me, it's within our culture. So even if you're not black, but you're heavily in black culture, it's a black situation.
You're right.
So
if you're looking at it from the victim point of view, you're right.
Yeah, and Tim Westwood is heavily black. He's black culture.
There were some white girls also, by the way.
There was what?
White girls who slipped guys on the list.
Okay.
Oh yeah, true.
And were the guys black?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, what I'm saying is, some party on there is, you know what I mean.
What you're saying is, black girls are submitting black guys.
White
girls might be submitting black guys. A black girl could submit a white guy.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is,
shut your mouth if it is you're saying that we can only deal with one thing at one time.
Basically, yes, that's what I'm saying.
So what is it? Okay, cool, guys. We hear you on the abuse, but right now we're dealing with George Floyd and them man there. So let's just pause this until 2021.
Exactly, which is why I had the same issue with the colorism stuff, and people are like, I don't think it's the right time to talk about it. It is.
Yeah, and I know I was the whole infighting thing, but to me this is not infighting. Infighting is, you man are cheap, bruv. You ain't paying for the dates. Like all that frivolous crap that we would talk about. Yeah,
that is silly.
That's silly. Let's not have those conversations right now. Men should be paying on dates and all this entitlement shit. No, that's all to me can be saved until a later date. But these topics here, which are very, very extreme and serious, yes, they should be had at any given time. You know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, we've been on this for 2 hours, so you can move on now if you want to. No, it is. I just want to do it justice because it's such a heavy one.
I feel like we have though. I feel like
Brent, do you feel like we've given it?
Yeah, I think you mentioned a few things before she went into the toilet. I think you've covered a couple of those things. I think you also want to talk about people coming online and saying they're distancing themselves from said person because they're friends and whatnot. I think you mentioned the Benjat and the Snow.
All right, cool. So we'll delve into that a bit. Let me use Gina as an example and me as an example. So let's just say I was on the list. Yeah. Well, I kind of know the answer, but I'll ask the room, innit? So if I was on the list, would you expect Gina to distance herself from me in a statement online and essentially sever her ties with me and the podcast if I was on the list?
One, she would be expected to by the being mob.
But but should she now do it because she's expected to or because she wants to?
Sorry?
Well, she's here, so...
Right.
You asked me, Nico.
Exactly. I know that if your name was on the list, my DMs would be...
DMs would be cooking.
What?
Barbecue.
Oh, God. It would be a deadly day. Right. Now, my thing would be, you're my friend, innit? So like I said, I would defend you to the point based on your character. Because I know your character and you are not higgy, I would defend you in the sense of, okay, cool, this has happened. Obviously I don't stand for the allegations 100%, but I know my boy and I don't believe that these allegations are true. Let's see what happens in it. But I'm not at that point coming out and making a statement saying I'm distancing myself from you. And I'd hope people would be able to understand that purely because to me, you're like family. So I can't just make a rash decision based on peer pressure either. I don't crumble under pressure, especially from people I don't know. Sorry, but do you know what I mean? And like I said, I generally know your character. If it turns out that these allegations were true and they were out of this world, that's a completely different conversation. So that's when we're going to have to rejig and be like, right, meet us after 7 might have to be no more because this is a lot. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, no, and you'll be completely justified.
Exactly. But until we get to that point, I couldn't make any rash decisions based on what people are telling me to do, because I wouldn't be doing myself any justice. Because I'm not doing it because I want to. I'm doing it because I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. But like I said, I'd like to know all facts of the case. But originally, I'm going to come to your defense purely because I know your character. I know your heart. And as a friend, that's the stance I'm going to take on it. But like I said, should it be a completely different scenario at the end, we're having a different conversation. And in that moment, I'm not afraid to be wrong.
Yeah.
And you see, when it is that we decide to operate in this critical level of thinking, when it is someone we know is on the list.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the thing is, if no one you are close to is on the list,
you're just
I feel like your response is going to be different.
Yeah.
But then again,
how would you expect someone who knows no one on the list to respond to it?
I feel like if you don't know anyone,
Yeah.
you're going to naturally just jump to the defense of cancel. Do you know what I mean? Without thinking critically, because it's not close to home for you.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a big name also.
I feel like when it's in your peripheral, is that the word? Yeah. When it's in your face, you're not gonna jump so quickly. And you're gonna be rattled. Like, you're gonna have to take it in. As if to say it's even you. Obviously, it's not you, but it's so close to home that it's also going to affect you in the sense of now how people perceive you because you are associated with that person.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy as just names that I see on the timeline and like, yeah, whatever. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. All right, so two scenarios, yeah? So this is hypothetical situation. This is a hypothetical situation. This is a hypothetical situation.
Dr. Umar thing, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, because I know people just want to chop things. So imagine I was on the list, yeah, and you called me like, Yus, while going for this list, and I'm like, gee, you know what? I'm sorry, man. Like, I done something, What are you doing then?
Ask him what he did.
Because he's going to tell me.
I don't want to put that into the universe. So let's just say
let's say you told me what you done.
Yeah, and what I done was bad.
All right. I am going to be absolutely livid, but forget even being livid, because I know what I'm like.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
I'm
what?
like, Jesus. Verbally, yeah.
Publicly or just to me?
No, to you.
Okay,
in that moment,
yeah.
I'm literally coming for you.
Yeah.
To the point where you're gonna be like, rah. And you can't say nothing back to me. You're gonna have to take everything I say.
Yeah.
And I know what I'm like. I know what my character is like, because I've been in similar situations before.
Yeah.
And people are always like, rah, like, okay. But I'm not gonna spare your none of that stuff.
I wouldn't expect you to either.
Just like a sister would do to a brother.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm coming for you in that moment.
Yeah, because Alima would rip me to shreds.
Literally.
If I was on there, she'll call me like,
yeah,
Yus, why are you on this list? Whatever.
Yeah.
If I admitted that I'd done something, then yeah, she's gonna completely destroy me. Of course.
And then after that, the disappointment's gonna kick in.
Yeah,
because the reality is, you've messed up so bad to the point where now you've affected our relationship, and it's gonna burn me.
Yeah.
I guess for me, it's the sadness of I'm gonna have to let you go to a degree.
Yeah, it's not just his life that's affected.
No, and I understand that, because what example did we talk about the other day? Yeah, so someone asked me, okay, cool, if it came out that your boy, was actually guilty of for say rape. How would that affect your relationship? I'm like, you know what? It would affect it, because now I really can't be seen with him now, because he has been accused and it's been found guilty of rape in the public forum. I don't know if it will be taken to, law level or whatever, but I now can't be seen next to him because he is a rapist, and now I'm going to be painted with the same brush or looked upon as complicit, or are your friends with a rapist. So it's going to affect our relationship.
100%.
You're still my boy. Like, what you've done is heinous and it's wrong, and I'm going to give you hellfire for it. But it doesn't take away the 20 plus years that we've had together as friends. But yes, it's going to change the dynamic. I can't, how can I now be next to you,
my thing
convicted, guilty of this?
Is it's not even just about me being seen with you. I just feel like,
you're disgusting.
I'm your bedroom, so I'm a girl in it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be like, rah. So, like, I'm just gonna look at you so differently. Like, I'm gonna look at you to the point where I know what I'm like. Yeah. Even the thought of you being around a female is gonna make me uneasy. And that's where my mind's gonna go. Only because I thought I knew you. And the fact that you've disappointed me so much,
Yeah, of course.
it's gonna be so heavy that my mind is gonna go to the extreme every time now, because I can't allow myself to get fooled again. Especially if like I've been like fighting your corner. Like, nah, that's my boy.
Yeah, of course.
20 years deep. Never. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like proper waving your flag. And then it turns out that you're guilty.
Yeah.
I don't even think we can be bedrooms. I think it's a thing where it's like, if I see you, cool. But you see like that whole friendship thing, I feel like our friendship won't even be genuine.
We were never
forward.
friends.
Yeah, I feel like
you were pretending.
I feel like our friendship isn't genuine, and it can't be genuine moving forward because I don't know you.
The thing is, I get what you lot are saying, but I got to be honest to my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the thing is, I totally get it though.
What my friend has done is completely wrong. It's going to disgust me. I'm going to look at him like, I don't even think I know you. I can't even look at you the same. 100%, I can't look at you the same anymore. But does that stop the love I have for this person on a completely...
Oh, 100% not.
Okay, it can. Listen to this. God forbid. But place your sister in the mix.
Yeah, but Brent, that makes it completely different.
That's when it is. I think of that. I immediately jumped like
I wasn't going. Yeah, I wasn't going there.
I place my sister in the place of the person he decided.
No, but that's different then, because
that's
I
do what Gina is
saying. If that's my sister, then I'm coming to you and I'm going to kill you. So that's a whole that's a whole different conversation.
You just asked how you are. It's impossible to just remove the years of love and affection you have with this nigga. Yeah. I said it depends on what the situation is and how it is that you approach it.
It definitely
how I
depends.
approach it is, well, the same way is that you could have done that to that and lost your flipping mind, you animal. It could have easily have been someone I knew.
Yeah.
It could have been my cousin that you don't even know, but that be my cousin. Do you understand?
And I
understand.
And like I said before, for me, it's going to be painful because it's not because I want to. It's not because, do you know what I mean? Like, if I had my way, we'd still be friends. So I'm also going to have to lose you as a friend based on your actions. Yeah. So that's going to be hard. And it's not like I'm going to stop loving you tomorrow. Like, obviously, it's like a breakup in a relationship.
It's hard.
It's going to be hard.
It's not going to be easy.
But it's necessary.
No, it is. And listen, certain crimes, the punishment is severe, innit? And this is one of them.
It's not like a murder case. You're saying, because if it's a murder
case, murder case is on the same level.
You may not drop. You know what?
If my friend murdered someone.
Wait. So let's just say.
You know what?
Well, I can't cancel my friend who murdered someone.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Oh, never mind.
But if it is he's killed somebody.
Yeah. I can't be around it. I can't. No.
I didn't say you couldn't be around him, but if he raped somebody and if he kills somebody, do you see that as the same severity of public?
So you're asking me what's worse?
No, as it pertains to how it is that you either continue loving him from afar or not loving him at all, because in your mind, one is different.
All right. You can't switch off love just like that. So obviously it's a process, but I'm not going to sit here and say that murder and rape, one's higher, one's lower, whatever. Murder and rape are two of the most heinous.
I think it's different because it depends on how the murder.
Okay, cool. But now you're
rape,
adding. Wait. Now you're adding variables.
I'm not adding variables. I told you from the jump. I don't see it as the same thing.
No, but it depends on how the murder happened. Okay, cool. Okay, let's make it specific with give me the exact murder scenario.
Right. Cool. So you've gone to Greece with your fellas, and an altercation happens.
Yeah.
A boy's girl has been beaten up by some guy.
Okay.
And he's gone and he's beaten the guy and he happened to take his life.
So he went to beat up the guy
because he beat up his girl.
No, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to look at that as the same as
100%.
I'll give you an example.
It doesn't matter which way you paint a rape. It's not going to be the same as I could paint murders differently. Okay, in my mind, a rape is a rape.
You're right.
Doesn't matter how you paint it.
You're right. So rape is rape, no matter what the circumstances. Murder, the circumstances can change. So in the scenario you gave, where he's gone to beat someone up for something he done and he murdered him in the process, then I'm not going to cancel him for that because he essentially is just defending someone. If my friend
he's a serial murderer,
broke into someone's house to rob them and kill them and rob them, then that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yes.
You are a murderer. You went into someone's house to rob and kill them.
Yes.
I can't even, fam, you might even kill me, big man. I'm out. I'm out.
I can't trust you at all, nigga.
Do you know how funny that is? It's not, but you were like,
I don't know you at all.
You're like, I'm out.
No, I'm out.
You could kill me.
So I found out that my friend went to kill someone and now I should be around you. No, big man, you can stay over there. It's done.
Does it even matter why he's gone to kill a person?
No, but we just went through this. We just went through this.
So it's not that he went to kill him or he knew the intent was there to go and kill him. It's how the
So yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, but you just gave an example
no,
of him beating up the guy.
No.
And I said,
let me give you
I
another
don't understand what you mean,
example.
man.
So you know there's obviously manslaughter and murder. So it's about the intent, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say you've gone for beef. You've gone for beef. The beef, obviously, you've both got beef. You're like, fuck me here.
Yeah.
We're beefing it out.
Yeah.
Not with the intention to kill. But you've gone there to buck this boy for beef. So
Yeah.
you're there to beef, but not to kill.
Yeah.
Babes, I'm not even saying that.
And in the heat of the moment,
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying you fiddle with my son. I'm definitely you're watching me. I'm wiping my hands. I'm putting my gloves. Getting my plans there. That's the gasoline. That's the
yeah, but
saw.
gasoline. See?
No,
Listen, you know what it
listen.
is,
You
right,
have fiddled with my son.
Yeah, but you're making it
you
easy,
know
though.
full well I'm going to kill you,
You're
right?
making it easy.
Wait. So you're gonna cancel me because I have?
No, I'm saying I'm not cancelling you. That's
This is
easy.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
so
we,
even
but
though
we
the
already
intent is
we
there,
already established that though with the first example you
said
gave.
if you're on there to have beef, it just happened to die.
So I'm asking,
Yeah.
because the first example was going to rob someone and then kill him.
that was the first. He was-
Going to, let's say someone beat up your sister,
Yeah.
you go to beat up the guy and the guy dies. There's that one, right?
Yeah.
So there's no intention.
Yeah.
And then there's going to rob someone, you're going there to rob, and in the moment you get trigger happy or whatever and you kill.
No, it wasn't even trigger happy. You went to rob them and you killed them also.
Yeah, exactly. In the moment.
No, not in the moment. Like, I didn't
Oh,
need
the
to.
plan was.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Run
the
up in there,
intention-
pat, pat, pat,
All right,
rob.
cool.
That's what I mean.
All right, cool. There's that one. Then I'm saying your boy goes to beef. So you know that they're going to beef.
Yeah.
So you know that they're going there for violence.
It's just
Yeah.
heavy-handed.
Is what
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
you know them going there
Yeah.
isn't to have a conversation.
Yeah.
It's to beef.
Yeah.
And then in the moment he kills the other guy. What are you saying? They've both got beef with each other. It's not a retaliate. It's like you're just. I don't know.
Listen, I'm from the end, isn't it? That's just life. You have ops, you have beef with someone. You might be a Peckham boy, you might be a Brixton boy. You go and beef, someone dies.
Okay, cool. So are you still rolling with your boy?
I can't because now he's got a target on his back. Which means that I've got a target.
I don't want to catch no spray bullets.
This might catch a straight roll over you, nigga. No.
You're not on catching strays.
I'll be honest. Okay, cool. This is a perfect scenario. Just say my friend's in a gang. He went to buck the other gang, and then he killed one of the gang members.
Yeah.
You're hot in the street, bro. I can't be seen with you, so they can kill me too.
It's true.
Big man, I'm laying low for me for a bit. Holler me when everything's simmered down, innit?
DM me, boy.
So that I can be killed because they ain't gonna kill you. They're gonna kill me and you.
Yeah.
They might even kill me trying to kill you.
No,
How about that? Are you gonna go and tell my mum why I'm dead?
Yeah.
Nah. Well, you will, but you know what I mean. That's not a conversation you want to have, innit? But yeah, I'm gonna backtrack. Well, I didn't say anything wrong, but I'm gonna say yes. I think that rape is worse than murder, but with murder there's different levels. So obviously we've given different examples of how murder could happen. With rape, it's just black and white for me. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, it's black and white. Is that? You know what I mean? So I don't know what the original point we were trying to make was.
No, you were basically saying as to why it is you just wouldn't cancel somebody off the back of something. I think you gave Gina.
Yeah.
Hypothetical.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it'll be hard. Let's be honest. Imagine it was your family member, your brother, whatever. It's gonna be hard to just remove your brother from your life. Like look at Nicki Minaj. Her brother has been convicted of child molestation. She was with him getting to court. Because that's her brother. Obviously, she can't.
And it's mad because even in the comments, she gets a lot of stick. Oh, if you're a rapist brother, and it's just like, fam.
Yeah, that's her brother, isn't it?
It's
And
her
obviously,
brother.
he's obviously telling her, Nikki, I didn't do it. Who knows? She might know he's guilty. I don't know. Whatever. But he got found guilty. But so we have to assume that he's guilty, innit?
Yep.
So he's guilty. Let's say the whole time, I'm assuming he's telling her, Nikki, I didn't do anything. I didn't do it. The lawyers are trying to prove that he didn't do it, but he got found guilty. So, and what do you think he's supposed to do now? Apologize for being by her brother's side, why the case was happening, or what? Or just accept what's happened and then be quiet. You know what I mean?
I would like my brother to alleviate me from any of those types of decisions. Hand yourself in. Admit to this, that, and next. Don't drag the family down.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know what you did.
Yeah.
Go and pay the consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you going to check him?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because remember, again, I'm a Christian, so it's always framed around the fact that there is always forgiveness there possible. Do you understand? So, in my mind, Christ can still, save him.
No, it's true.
Yeah, so my duty would just be good and make sure that when he dies, he's saved,
I hear you. Fair enough.
Yeah, I hear that still. I hear that.
All right then.
So obviously this episode is coming out after the Little Fires Everywhere Zoom.
We gonna get some questions.
So then this is coming out afterwards. So we might as well just talk about it a little bit. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I've still got 2 more to go before the Zoom. Some people have already watched the whole shebang. So shall we quickly just talk about our initial thoughts on the show for those who are not going to be on the Zoom and listening on a Sunday. So after 2 episodes, my quick hot take, like I told you lot before, I don't like Kerry Hilson. What's her name again?
I called it
Kerry Hilson.
Kerry Wilson.
Wait, you're not going to finish it before we do the Zoom call? Because a lot of people would have already finished it. So you'd be...
But the premise of the Zoom call was episodes 1 to 4.
No, but people forgot that.
Oh, so are we scrapping that idea?
They're not listening to that at all. A lot of them...
So now I've got to watch Bear now.
You know Christabel's doing she's got the questions ready, boy.
But is it based on the whole series?
No, so her questions so far are up to 1 to 4. So let me know if we're going all the way to the end and I can let you know.
I'm telling you right now.
Oh, you've done the whole thing.
Before I even talked, I
did the whole thing last week.
You did the whole thing already?
On Friday. Ask Brent. No, basically. I tried. I did. Yusuff, I tried. It was so funny, yeah. I was talking to Brent and then Brent was like, I was like, Brent, okay, I've watched 1 to 3. And he was like, Gina, you're not going to stop here. I said, no, Brent, I'm going to give it a break. And when I came back and I was like, he was like, wait, you're on episode 6. I was like, Brent. And I'm obviously giving Brent like running commentary. Yeah. And he goes, wait, Gina, you finished. Yeah. I said, oh, I'm done.
She done.
Literally 24 hours.
So I've got, how many days do I have then? I'm not going to watch Today's a Myth. So I've got
2. No, you got 1.
1 day to watch. How many episodes in this season?
You don't have to.
There's
I'm
8.
just saying that. There'll be people on there who would actually...
So I've got 6 episodes to watch.
There's some people who've said they're not going to participate in the Zoom because they know that they're not going to be able to not give away spoilers.
And the thing is, if we change our minds, it's too late because this is not coming out until afterwards unless we make a statement on Twitter.
That's true.
Right.
So we can agree now, and then I'll put out a post saying, okay, guys, we're gonna talk about the whole thing. So if you can before Friday, if you haven't watched everything, watch everything. Because I've got to watch 6 episodes now, or it's in a day. I mean,
that isn't hard for me, to be honest.
You and me both.
I got to drink a load of coffee. No, I'm gonna try because I don't want to be there. And then the conversation goes all the way to the end. I'm like,
even us having this convo now is dead because you've only watched 2 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know what you thought you were doing.
Didn't, for me, it didn't get engaging until like.
No, it's engaging to me. I'm engaged.
No, fair enough. But for me, cool. I messaged Brent and I was like, Brent,
because I can see it building.
No, fair enougth. But remember, it's not my typical show because I like action and this is so out of my bag.
Is it? I don't even know why you think I wouldn't like this. I think this is sick.
Okay.
No, fair enough.
Cool.
But because it's not my usual show, Brent knows me. I need action first. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, it's building, but it's still like, I don't care for this Desperate Housewives shit that I'm watching.
Desperate Housewives.
That's
drama.
No, that's me. Like I don't care for this shit with your stupid petty problems and your white privilege. Fuck off. Like it was getting on my nerves. Ask him. I was what? Elena, I cannot. I hate the two.
What, Reese?
I hate the two. Reese Witherspoon.
I love her.
I hate the two. I hate the two main characters. I hate Mia. I hate
I actually like
Elena.
Reese Witherspoon.
No. Yusuff.
He's 2 episodes in.
It's true.
I was gonna hate her soon.
He's 2
I don't
episodes
I don't know if you'll hate her, but also I guess for me, because
but you can remember what happened in the first 2 episodes. She's just being a good girl.
Oh, so she's gonna turn bad, yeah?
So he's talking from that point.
Yeah.
Remember, I've only seen 2.
Okay, fair enough. You know what it is? For me, She is the epitome or epitome.
No, it's the epitome.
Epitome of white privilege, yeah? So because
African American.
Because we're seeing, because of what else is happening in the world, she's irritating me a lot more than on a normal day she would.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things that she says, the slurs, like comments.
Microaggression.
Yeah, and they jar me.
Okay.
And I get it. It's the environment she was raised in.
Yeah.
But sis, like, I know you're from, what's the town? What's the town with the bumper sticker? Where do they live? It begins with an S.
Yeah, Shaker.
Shaker, right.
Yeah.
I know you live in Shaker. You work for the Shaker Times. But sis, life exists outside of Shaker Town.
Yep.
So it's like, she's just so shaker. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like I get it. You know, I can't be too hard on you because it's the environment that you're raised in. But also, we're in 2020. Oh, I don't know when this was set, but we're in modern times. Like, you have access to the news. Like, you see what else is going on around you. So I feel like you can be a bit more mindful, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, as you watch it, I think you'll understand. Because in the beginning, she just irritated me anyway because those kind of humans are not my kind of humans.
Yeah, I think it was a little dated. I don't think it was in 2020 time.
No, it wasn't. It was in the 90s, isn't it?
It wasn't when it got this upspring of
it was
awareness
based in
and whatnot.
1997.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's 1997.
But now I can't stand her, and I can't stand. I think I genuinely don't like Kerry Washington in general because no character she's ever played I've taken to, and her facial expressions.
Yeah, what's up with her face?
Send me. But she acts like this in everything I've watched. American Son, same thing. Even in Save the Last Dance, bare facial expressions, like bare.
She's not in Save the Last Dance.
She really is the sister.
Oh, okay. I forgot.
Yeah, she's that. I never watched Scandal, but I watched one episode, and again, I just.
I'm just waiting. Obviously, there's a backstory. There's demons. So you know the flashback to the train and my man. What's my man's name again? Jesse something.
Yeah. What do you think that is?
Oh, you want to see where his mind's going?
Maybe is he Pearl's father? No.
We're not gonna ruin it for you. Keep watching.
But she's afraid of him. No?
Hold on. Is she lesbian? Because there was a scene when she was kissing a woman on the train.
Just keep watching.
Obviously, she might be lesbian now. Obviously, she has a daughter. Also, she had that car for time. The flashback scene when she was having sex in the car.
Yeah.
Was from the 80s, bruv.
Yeah.
Same car.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't know, because her trauma, one, I don't even like her lifestyle. This whole art gypsy thing she's got going on. It's annoying me.
Don't like how she lives.
And only because her lifestyle is affecting her daughter's lifestyle. That's why I don't like. If you don't have no kids, cool. You can do your caravan thing, jump around, place to place, get inspiration, do your art and leave. Cool.
Caravan day.
You're ruining your daughter's life by moving her around school after school after school.
All right.
It's getting on my nerves,
That's why it is I love this because.
Yeah, so cool. I think we should now quickly just summarize this whole abuse list thing and then we can just wrap up from there. So, like I just said before, I don't believe we said consent ever on this pod, so let's just make sure we incorporate that. So obviously, men, understand consent. A woman has to give you her consent for you to, help me here, for him to proceed or
Make
what?
any advances,
To make an advance.
Just always ask for consent.
Yes.
Make sure that consent is agreed. Get consent. Ask the question. Ask relevant questions. If you feel like you can't read the room, ask the question, because even reading the room, that isn't even consent in itself. Do you get what I mean? So I don't think there's anything wrong with asking the question. You shouldn't be embarrassed for asking the question because ultimately, at the end of the day, you're protecting yourself.
Yeah.
If a woman ridicules you for asking for consent, she's not for you.
Yes. As our good friend Oloni says, consent is sexy.
Literally.
So yeah, please ask for consent and no, I'm gonna say something that might be misconstrued somewhat. Yes, but let's go back again. So the list was necessary. Any man who is abusing women, who is raping women, who is violating women should be outed. We should know who they are so we can act accordingly. We should ban them from the events.
Man or woman.
Man or woman. But it's not all lives matter thing, Brent. So just focus on
No,
the
there
women,
were
please.
women on the list.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
there
my
was.
friend.
One of
my
them was a
friend.
photographer,
Sorry,
right?
my
Yeah.
friend. So, for example, I saw a guy tweet, none of these guys who are on this list are ever welcome to any of my events again. Someone asked him, but how are you gonna do that? He goes, don't worry, I've got something brewing behind the scenes. Maybe he's compiling a list of people. I don't know, obviously, but because it's just the at names, it's hard to verify. But yeah, so we should know who these guys are. We should be aware of who they are, so women can obviously be more safe and they know who to deal with. They know who not to communicate with, who not to let into their life because this guy is a potential rapist or whatever. So awareness is key. So this list was good because it created awareness, and we need to make sure we keep our women safe and they're protected. But in the same vein, I just thought the whole thing's just a big mess. It's a big mess. But understandably, this thing is not ever going to be tidy. So it is what it is. And yeah, men, do better. Do better. What you're doing is disgusting. It's hideous, and God will punish you. Please change your ways, learn, understand, and stop. That's the key word. Stop what you're doing, and repent, apologize sincerely, and never, ever, ever, ever do anything like this again. And remove yourself from social media. We don't want to see you anymore. All right. That's it. Anyone else got a final statement? Don't leave me out there on the limb, big man. I was looking to you to say something.
Me?
Don't off-piss me, Brent.
Myself off piss.
Go on, Gina.
No, I agree. I feel like this has been a very healthy topic, a necessary topic at that. Hopefully, no one's offended with what we've said.
Oh yes,
and
please.
No one's taken anything we said out of context. Just to reiterate, we are not saying that anyone like that. Though not like that everyone on the list like shouldn't be on the list and stuff like that. Like it's just we're just kind of dissecting and giving our opinions on it. And my thoughts go out to those who have been a victim of any form of sexual abuse, harassment. And I'm happy that people are finally having necessary conversations to destroy and rebuild our community so we can come out a lot better and break generational curses and stuff that we've been kind of held in bondage for. So can I get an amen?
Amen.
Literally.
Amen.
Amen.
Again, from my vantage point, I cannot commit somebody to the stocks until it's verified that they are guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that...
Because there have been too many instances where, especially in our past, where it is, we have been condemned off the back of just a say-so.
Yeah, no,
right?
I think, yeah.
So, rightfully so, these animals need to be placed in the zoo, but we first need to know that they're animals.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's my biggest, star on this. I would like to know what these men have been specifically accused of. That's the only thing that I would want to change. I want to know exactly. I think we should all know exactly what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just make the process of elimination much quantifiable, just easier. So yeah, but obviously it's happened now. They're not going to go. They're not going to backtrack and now do a new list with the the allegations next to it. So it is what it is, isn't it? But one would have hoped that it could have been that way. It just would have made it easier, but it is what it is now. So yeah, all right. I have been I'm going to protect my friend at all costs. I cannot, though, take a full stance without knowing all the facts of the case. It is week 5 of me wearing my beret, and I'm pretty aware that Yusuff and Gina do not know what my hair looks like underneath this. And I'm going to show them in due time. I've been the neutral, on the fence, fun guy, Brent.
No, we ain't gonna do that.
Nigga, what do you want from me?
You tell the truth, nigga.
I gave you... Okay, cool. I have been Brent.
I can dig it.
I have been... I will ride for my friend until it is it is proven that they have disappointed me.
And that's when the wheels fall off.
100%. And with the same vim I had in riding for them, once it is I have all the information and it proves that they are in the wrong, I'm going to use that same vim to hold them accountable.
Mm-hmm.
I have been silent for too long, but not anymore. I am living in an age where I am finding myself and I look good in this season. And I want this season to continue because I'm learning so much about how strong my voice is and how it empowers me and those around me. I should continue in this vein. Justine.
Right. Them speeches there, you know.
I was thinking, right, they're doing me as well, because this one's a bit long still.
I hear that. I appreciate that, Brent. Didn't realize my voice was powerful, but you know what? I have been Mr. I ride with my niggas on. I ride with my niggas. I slide with, I'm joking, Mr. I'm going to ride with you till the wheels fall off. I'm not afraid to be wrong publicly. It's not an ego thing. Man's never had to, man could never be on the list. You get me?
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Impossibly.
Mr. Biggest man in the room.
The biggest.
Let me just add another one. I do not skirt difficult conversations.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
Even though I know sometimes I put my foot in my mouth and say something a bit weird and whatever.
Yeah.
Because I just got verbal diarrhea sometimes. But
it's all for the betterment.
It is what it is. And hopefully no one has taken anything I've said on this episode offensively.
Yeah.
And hopefully it hasn't come across like I was defending any. No, obviously I defended one particular person, but I hope I didn't come across like I was defending the whole thing. When I'm on the side of the ladies. That's the side I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we out.
We out.
Peace.